Close your eyes, my friend. Take a soft breath in. Let it drift out slowly. Feel the weight of your body sink gently into the bed. Your shoulders soften, as though a heavy cloak has been lifted away. Your jaw loosens, resting quietly. The muscles around your eyes grow calm and still. Your hands rest where they are, warm and relaxed. Imagine a gentle breeze moving through a quiet forest. The air is cool, carrying the faint smell of wood smoke. Each breath in brings calm. Each breath out lets go of the day. The world grows quieter. Your thoughts slow like a river at dusk. Let yourself drift into this moment. Here you are safe. Here you are calm. Here you are ready to dream. And now, our story begins. It begins in a quiet village, long ago. The year is forgotten, but the air smells of autumn leaves. The cottages are made of timber and stone, their chimneys releasing thin ribbons of smoke. The villagers are gathered inside a hall, where a fire glows in the great hearth. The night outside is cool, with stars scattered across the sky. The only sounds are the soft crackle of fire and the hush of waiting voices. They are waiting for music. Into the hall steps a wandering minstrel. His cloak is dusty from the road. His boots are worn, yet steady. Across his back, he carries a lute. The lute is simple, made of wood, polished by many hands. Its strings are strung from animal gut, as was the custom in medieval times. Those strings give the lute a mellow, dreamlike sound that seems to soften the air itself. The minstrel smiles gently at the villagers. He bows his head with respect, then takes a seat by the glowing hearth. The firelight warms his hands as he places the lute across his lap. The hall grows quieter. The villagers lean closer. Even the children fall still, their eyes wide with wonder. The minstrel plucks a single note. It is soft, golden, and calm. The sound floats into the rafters like smoke. The story of the lute begins. He plays a simple melody. The notes rise and fall like waves on a quiet sea. The lute sings gently, each tone glowing like an ember. The villagers close their eyes, letting the music wash over them. The fire crackles in rhythm with the tune. Some say the sound of a lute could heal a weary heart. Others say it could call back old memories. Tonight it does both. The minstrel's fingers move slowly, gracefully. The strings hum, warm and alive. The sound is never sharp, always round, always soft, like the whisper of a lullaby carried by wind. The children yawn, leaning against their mothers. The elders smile, remembering their own youth. The hall is wrapped in warmth, in story, in sound. Outside, the stars shine brighter, as if they too are listening. The minstrel finishes the first tune. The final note lingers in the air, drifting slowly, softly, like smoke. The hall remains silent. No one wants to break the spell. The minstrel smiles, his eyes kind. He leans forward, whispering, "The road is long, my friends, and each song is a lantern to guide us." Places his fingers once more upon the strings, as the villagers lean close again. The fire crackles, warm and patient. The lute hums in his hands, eager to sing again. The minstrel begins another melody. This one's slower, gentler. It feels like a lullaby sung by the night itself. Your breath deepens, steady with the rhythm. Your body grows heavier, softer. The sound of the lute becomes part of your heartbeat. The story drifts onward, and you drift with it. Safe, calm, dreaming. As the minstrel plays, you feel time grow soft. The world narrows to warmth and song. The hall fades into stillness. The music continues. The villagers sigh. And the night carries you deeper into rest. His voice breaks the spell, weaves magic with mere sound. But who is this minstrel? From what realm does he hail? Is he bard, poet, traveling man? Where did his melodies begin? What tales does his lute hold? Outside, the trees creak, whispering to the stars. Here within the village hall, a fire crackles. Faces are lit by flickering light. Eyes lifted to the ceiling are lost in thought. Some nod their heads ever so slightly to the music's pace. Others tap a foot, a finger, keeping time. The hall is full, packed tight with people, young and old, male and female, faces weathered by sun and wind, others smooth and youthful. All are gathered here, listening intently to the music that pours through the rafters. He sings without accompaniment, relying solely on his voice and a lute held between his knees. His fingers fly up and down its neck, coaxing forth notes as clear as water running through a spring. Or sometimes his hand cups the sounding hole, muting the strings and deepening the sound. With a strum he can rouse the rafters, making the whole hall vibrate. With a touch, he can hush the room, coaxing out stories from the very stones. But who is he? What brings him to this humble village? Has he walked far? How many miles stretch behind him? What hopes, fears, and dreams ride along on his song? Who is he? Cough echoes, followed by a sniffle. The babe stirs in its mother's arms, nuzzling closer. A dog whines softly from somewhere in the corner. All are entranced by the minstrel's music. No one remembers him coming. There was no fanfare, no announcement. One moment, the hall had been filled with chatter and laughter. The next, a hush had fallen as the minstrel began his song. There are no instruments to accompany his voice, no drums to pound out rhythms, no flutes to weave high, thin notes above it. Sometimes there is just his voice and the scrape of his shoes against the worn flagstones. A slow, steady rhythm to drive out any lingering sounds. Then his voice rises again, strong, clear, carrying stories on wings of sound. There is no need for words when his songs fill the hall. His voice can spin tales, evoke landscapes, conjure laughter and tears. He sings of love, of loss, of heroes, bold in journeys fraught with peril. His voice can be gentle as a summer rain or fierce as a winter storm. And with every note the hall trembles. The rafters sigh. The fire glistens, casting dancing shadows on the walls. He is not afraid to let his voice soar, to let it crack and break, to let it dip low, to caress, to tease, to thrill. His voice is a tool, a weapon, a friend. With grace, with feeling. His voice breaks the spell, weaves magic with mere sound. The villagers lean closer, entranced. Their own voices have faded into the hush of the hall. Theirs are just the rustle of skirts, the creak of joints, the sigh of breaths. Their eyes are bright, their faces alight with the music that swells around them. He spins his webs of sound, capturing hearts, minds, souls. Some rock gently in their seats, eyes closed, letting the music wash over them, carrying them away on waves of sound. Others clap their hands, stamping their feet, joining in with cheers and laughter, their voices rising, falling in harmony with his. All are bound together by the spell of his song, lost in the magic of his music. Who is he? What wonders lie behind his eyes, crinkled at the corners by smiles and squints by years of laughter and sun? Where does the music come from? Does it rise from his chest, thundering like a heartbeat, or from his fingertips, dancing lightly on the strings? What dreams linger in his head, chasing away the dark and filling his sleep with starlight? Where does he walk? When will he pass through town again? Will he turn back? Look for him? The fire dwindles, leaving sparks spiraling upwards into the smoky air. The room is darker now, the shadows deeper, but the music continues. The minstrel's voice grows stronger, carrying clearly, cutting through the gloom. Each note hangs in the air like a silver thread, catching and holding firelight. The lute sings with him, weaving its own spells, its own stories. In the firelight, the minstrel's face is a canvas painted with the colors of his song. His eyes shine brightly, mirroring the flames. His lips curve into smiles, the corners crinkling with mirth. His brow furrows with concern, smoothing with peace. His cheeks flush, then pale. His chin tilts up, then falls in thought. The firelight plays across his hair, streaking it with gold and amber. It dances on his shoulders, tracing lines of strength and grace, flickers in his eyes, reading secrets whispered by the wind. What drives him on, urges him to play on through the darkness? Does he seek company in the crowd, solace in the hush? Or perhaps he finds his audience in the faces turned towards him, in the eyes watching, listening, leaning in. The fire crackles, sending sparks scattering like shooting stars across the darkness. Above the roof sighs, bending to the music. As the night deepens, the music changes. Notes become hushed, slower, their edges blurred. The lute weeps, its voice achingly sweet, and the minstrel's voice softens too. Now it's gentle, tender, filled with longing. He sings of moonlit paths, of lovers' vows, of silent stars, of whispers in the night. His voice resonates with sorrow, with yearning, echoing the ache of a lute string pulled to taut, the pain of parting, the chill of goodbyes. The villagers lean closer, their faces illuminated by the firelight, etched with understanding, empathy, memories, while some dab at eyes, others bite their lips, afraid to let out a sound. The music washes over them, cleansing, soothing, a balm for the soul. The minstrel pours everything into his song, his voice cracking with emotion, raw, real, reaching out to touch the deepest chords within. His music, his magic, pulls at their hearts, tugging forth tears, memories, regrets, hopes, dreams. He slows to a stop, the sudden silence deafening. The fire crackles, embers glowing, waiting.
Ow.
The minstrel looks out at the crowd, his face etched with fatigue, his eyes shining with unshed tears. In the firelight, his skin glows, his features sharpened, his throat working. He draws a shaky breath, his hand tightening on the lute. Then he speaks, his voice hoarse with disuse. They stir, the villagers shifting in their seats, murmuring to one another. Their voices hesitant at first, then growing bolder. They ask questions, seeking answers, searching for understanding. They want to know more, to reach out and touch the minstrel's weariness, to ease his burdened eyes, to unravel the stories held within his calloused fingers.
Ow.
But all they have is the music. The fire sputters, casting grotesque shadows on the walls, twisting faces, distorting shapes. The minstrel's voice rumbles, a low, steady sound that cuts through the darkness. His fingers fly across the strings, coaxing out notes that resonate with a chilling familiarity. His music is a tapestry woven with threads of fear, of uncertainty, of struggle, of courage. The villagers huddle closer, seeking comfort in numbers. In the shared silence that follows his song, in the trembling of their own voices as they echo his tales. In the darkness, they find unity, a bond forged in the face of fear. His music lingers, a haunting echo in the cavernous hall. The fire dwindles, casting dancing shadows on the walls, turning familiar faces into lurking phantoms. He stands before them, bathed in flickering light, his silhouette stark against the orange glow. The lute hangs heavy in his hands, its strings silent, its music spent. He is still, for the moment, the only sound the crackling of the fire and the murmur of the crowd. But in the stillness there is understanding, a shared experience that transcends words. They see in him a reflection of their own battles, their own scars. And when he is ready, they will follow him back into the light. For now, they are content to sit in the dark, wrapped in the warmth of the fire and the memory of the minstrel's song. They are villagers, their lives entwined with the rhythm of seasons, the cycle of work and rest, the solace of community. He is a traveler, his path dictated by the whispers of the wind, the call of distant lands, the lure of the unknown. Yet in this shared moment of music, of storytelling, of vulnerability, they find common ground. When the first rays of dawn touch the horizon, he will pack his cloak and lute and wanderlust. They will wave goodbye, their voices hoarse from singing, their hearts lighter from his song. The road stretches before him, leading away from the village and into the promise of a new day. And as he walks, the echoes of their voices will mingle with the music of his lute, creating a harmony that follows him all the way to the next hill, to the next town, to the next story waiting to be told. The minstrel is old, older than the mountains that hold the valleys in their laps, but age does not weigh him down. The road winds gently beneath his feet. Each step is unhurried, each breath quiet, like the turning of a page in a book written by the night itself. The fields are wrapped in silver mist. It rises low across the earth, curling like soft ribbons, touching the tips of the grass, hiding the stones, and blurring the horizon into a dream. The minstrel keeps walking. His cloak brushes against the tall weeds, rustling softly as though the earth itself whispers encouragement. The lute rests against his shoulder, its wooden body carrying the warmth of the fire long after the flames are gone. Far ahead, an owl drifts from one tree to another. Its wings open wide, then fold again in silence. No sound escapes but the soft rush of air. The minstrel watches, his heart eased by its presence. In every village, in every forest, he has always felt comfort when the owl flies. The moon is high now, spills pale light over the road, showing him the way without need of torch or lantern. The sky is sprinkled with stars, like grains of salt scattered across dark velvet, each one steady, each one watching. And he feels, as he often does, that he walks not alone, but accompanied by the great silence of the world, a silence filled with presence rather than emptiness. His mind drifts. He remembers the first time he held a lute. It was heavier than he expected, the wood solid, the strings rough under his fingertips. The master who handed it to him had said, "Listen before you play. It will tell you what it needs." And so he had. He had listened. And in listening, he had found that the lute did not simply wait to be struck. It breathed. It responded. It gave back as much as it was given. A smile touches his lips. Even now, years later, the lesson holds true. Music is not only played, it is shared, a gift that moves between hands and hearts. The road slopes downward. The mist clears, and far ahead, a faint cluster of lights glimmers. A village, waiting. Its houses gather close together, their roofs steep, their chimneys releasing the last smoke of evening fires. The minstrel's steps grow slower, not from weariness, but from savoring the approach. Each arrival carries a certain tenderness. He is a guest, a passerby, yet for one night, he becomes part of the story of this place. He crosses a narrow bridge. Beneath it, a stream gurgles quietly, its surface catching starlight and tossing it back in broken ripples. The sound of water is steady, endless, comforting. It blends with the rhythm of his boots on the wood. Together, they form a song of their own, a song of journey, a song of arrival. At the edge of the village, he pauses again. The lights are clearer now, lamps glowing softly through shutters, gold spilling across door frames. A dog barks once, then quiets. The air smells faintly of bread baked earlier in the evening, its warmth still clinging to the stones. The minstrel steps into the narrow lane. His presence is gentle, so as not to disturb the peace of the night. A few villagers notice him from their windows, but they do not fear him. They know the shape of a traveler, and perhaps they know, too, the sight of a lute carried tenderly beneath a cloak. A door opens. Warmth rushes out, spilling firelight onto the street. A voice calls softly, asking if he seeks rest, food, a place to warm himself. The minstrel bows his head in gratitude, steps closer, and the door opens wider. Inside, the glow is immediate. The air smells of wood smoke and stew and wool drying near the hearth. A handful of villagers sit at a table, their mugs half full, their eyes curious but kind. The minstrel offers no speech. Instead, he unwraps the lute, and with quiet care he sits by the fire. The flames crackle, the room hushes. And then, with a breath as steady as the turning of a tide, his fingers touch the strings. The sound is low, warm, mellow. The room softens instantly. Mugs are set down, hands fold. Even the fire seems to settle, its crackling now a rhythm beneath the song. The minstrel does not play a bright tune tonight. Instead, he draws out something slower, something made of gentle arches, like the rise and fall of breath and sleep. A song that drifts like smoke, circling the rafters, wrapping around the villagers like a second cloak. The children lean closer. Their eyes shine in the firelight, but soon their lids grow heavy. One by one, they rest their heads against parents' arms. The music carries them away, not into wakefulness, but into dreams. And still the lute hums, its voice steady, its tones golden and deep. Each note a heartbeat, each pause a breath, each chord a door opening into calm. The minstrel plays, and the night listens. Long after the embers die down to glowing coals, the minstrel continues to play. His song shifts and changes, but always it is laced with quietude, with the understanding that the deepest stories are often whispered, not shouted. As the final notes fade and the villagers stir, the minstrel rises. The fire has dwindled, leaving behind a comfortable quiet. The woman who had first greeted him rises, wiping flour from her apron. "You have brought rest to our evening," she says, her voice full of thanks. "And now, since you have walked so far, you must walk no more tonight. Rest here as long as you need." Her husband nods, his face creased with kindness. "Sleep late, rise slow," he adds, and find solace in the morning light. The children stir, blinking sleep from their eyes. As they look up at the minstrel, their faces full of wonder. "Play for us again, sir," one of them asks, his voice still thick with sleep. The minstrel kneels, meeting the child's gaze. "Tomorrow," he promises, "if the road allows." He stands again and moves to the window. Outside, the night is darker now, deeper, more alive. The moon hangs like a silver coin in the velvet sky, and the wind whispers through the trees. A soft, wordless song. Turning, he looks at the villagers, their faces lit by the fire, their eyes reflecting the dancing flames. "I am old," he begins, his voice raspy with years of singing and stories.
"Older than these mountains."
"Older than the river that runs through the valley. But age does not trouble me, for I have walked this world and its stories have become my companions." He pauses, letting his words hang in the air, letting the villagers lean closer, ready to hear more. "When I was young, I roamed just as the river flows ever onward, seeking what lay beyond the bend, beyond the hill, beyond the next village. The road was my home, and the stories I carried were as precious to me as the stars that guide my steps at night." The minstrel looks back at the window, his gaze distant, remembering. "But with time, I learned that the true worth of a tale lies not in how far you travel to hear it, but in the sharing, in the quiet moments when a song echoes in the stillness, or a story finds purchase in the heart of a listener." He turns again, meeting the gazes of the villagers, each face a landscape of wonder and anticipation. "And so tonight I bring you no epic battles, nor tales of faraway lands. I bring you the quietude of twilight, the companionship of an old man who has walked beside the wind, and the stories that have nestled in my soul, like birds in a sheltering tree." The villagers nod, understanding dawning in their eyes. The minstrel is old, yes, but his wisdom is a warmth that seeps into their bones, chasing away the chill of any lingering weariness. He is a storyteller, a weaver of words and melodies, and they are gathered at the loom of his experience, ready to weave their own stories alongside his. The wind outside sings through the leaves of the ancient oak tree, whispering tales as old as time itself. Beneath its sheltering branches, nestled amidst a sprawling network of roots, lies a clearing bathed in the silver glow of the rising moon. Here, bathed in ethereal light, a group of villagers have gathered, their faces etched with the hardships of their lives, are upturned towards the heavens, their gazes fixed on an extraordinary sight. Suspended in the air above them, held aloft by unseen hands, is a young woman. Her limbs are gracefully intertwined, forming shapes both elegant and strange, her movements fluid and hypnotic. A hush falls over the clearing as she begins to descend, floating down towards the earth as if borne on a cloud. When she alights, the silence is shattered by gasps of astonishment and awe. She turns, revealing a face framed by unruly curls, her features pale, her eyes shining with an otherworldly luminescence. "I am here," she proclaims, her voice echoing with power, "on a mission of utmost importance. I seek the one who can aid me, the one among you who possesses the rarest gift of all, the ability to love without condition." Her gaze sweeps across the crowd, searching, penetrating, leaving none untouched by her intensity. The villagers exchange uneasy glances, fear and uncertainty clouding their expressions. Who could possibly possess such a gift? Who among them was pure enough, strong enough, selfless enough to be worthy of this enigmatic visitor's request? The woman raises a hand, silencing the murmurs that ripple through the gathering. "I sense hesitation and doubt in your hearts," she states, her voice laced with disappointment. "Do you not believe yourselves capable of such a profound act? Or is it that you fear?" Fear, the insidious serpent, rears its head, coiling around the villagers' hearts, squeezing tight. They tremble, paralyzed by a potent mixture of apprehension and intrigue. "Speak," the woman demands, her voice ringing with authority, "and set my mind at ease. Assure me that I have not journeyed in vain." But the villagers remain rooted to the spot, their lips sealed by their own apprehensions, their eyes downcast, unable to meet the woman's piercing stare. A heavy silence descends, broken only by the rustling of leaves overhead, creating an oppressive atmosphere thick with unspoken fears and suppressed emotions. The woman sighs, her shoulders slumping slightly, disappointment evident in her posture. "So be it," she murmurs, more to herself then to the villagers. If none will offer me love without condition, then I am destined to wander alone. My quest is one of great import, and I am in dire need of assistance. She casts one last imploring glance at the cowering villagers before turning away, defeated. Very well, she says, her voice laced with resignation. Then I shall seek elsewhere, hoping to find the purity of heart I so desperately require. With that, she vanishes, melting into the shadows cast by the ancient oak, leaving the villagers in the suffocating embrace of their own making. The minstrel drifts, his breath deepens, and the world slips away like a cloak sliding gently from his shoulders. The warmth of the fire remains, but it no longer belongs to the hall, it belongs to the dream. In the dream, the fire becomes a circle of stars, each one flickering softly, rising and falling like lanterns floating upon a tide. The minstrel stands among them, his lute still in his hands. When he plucks a string, the sound does not echo in the room. It ripples through the stars, each light shimmering in answer, as though the heavens themselves are listening. He steps forward. The ground beneath him is not earth, not stone, but a fabric, a great woven cloth stretched across the sky. Its threads gleam silver and blue, and every note he plays seems to weave new patterns into it. A tapestry forming beneath his feet, the air is hushed, so still that even silence seems alive. His fingers move slowly, each chord sending waves of color through the skycloth. Stripes, swirls, tiny sparks, like flowers in bloom, all appearing, then fading, then returning in new forms. The minstrel feels no weight here. His steps are featherlight. The lute itself seems to guide him, its mellow notes leading him deeper into the dream. He begins to hear voices, not loud, not sharp, but gentle, like echoes carried on water. They hum in harmony with his song, ancient and familiar. Perhaps they are the voices of those who once played the lute before him. Perhaps they are the dreams of all who have ever listened. They do not speak words, but their presence is comforting, a choir without beginning or end. He looks upward, and the stars are closer now. They are not distant pinpricks. They are lanterns within reach, each one glowing softly, swinging as if on invisible strings. The minstrel stretches out a hand. One star drifts down, settling against his palm, hums faintly, like a plucked note, a pure and endless tone. When he releases it, it drifts back upward, settling once more among the rest. The dream deepens. The breeze rises warm, gentle, like the breath of summer evenings. It carries scents of lavender, of meadow grass, of wood smoke curling faintly in the air. The minstrel inhales, and the fragrance itself seems to soothe his heart. Each breath is ease, each exhale is release. He continues walking, though there is no destination. The dream carries him as though the fabric beneath his feet were flowing like a river. And all the while, his lute plays, without effort, without thought. The music is no longer his alone. It belongs to the dream, to the stars, to the vast, endless hush. Time does not move here. There is only the rhythm, steady and calm. Each note is a heartbeat. Each pause is a breath. The minstrel smiles faintly in his sleep, for even in the dream he feels the peace of the villagers resting back in their beds. He knows they are safe, he knows they are calm, and that knowledge itself is the sweetest song of all. The stars draw closer still until they are all around him. A choir of lights, a lullaby of glimmers. He lowers his eyes. The tapestry beneath him glows brighter, woven now with patterns that look like villages, like rivers, like roads winding across hills. Perhaps the dream is showing him every place his music has ever touched. Perhaps it is showing him where it will go when he is gone. The minstrel does not wonder. He does not need to. He simply plays. And the dream, soft and endless, carries him deeper into rest. When the morning light spills through the windows, chasing the shadows from the hall, the minstrel stirs. His fingers curl, his eyelids flutter, and the lingering echoes of the dream fade like mist before the rising sun. The lute rests quietly on his lap, silent now, its magic spent. The minstrel opens his eyes, blinking against the dawning day. The memory of the dream lingers, a faint echo in his chest, like the last notes of a song dying away. He sits up, stretching, and the muscles in his shoulders and neck loosen. As he rises, his gaze falls on the lute. Its polished surface gleams back at him, reflecting the growing light of the hall. Slowly, as if awakening from a half-forgotten slumber, the minstrel begins to play. The notes are hesitant at first, as if unsure of themselves. Then they grow, gaining strength and clarity. The music flows from him, filling the hall with its gentle resonance. The villagers stir in their beds, drawn by the lilting melody. Old Man Hemlock, his beard whiter than winter snow, cracks open a window. The music reaches his ears, and a smile touches his lips. Little Elspeth, her hair the color of spun gold, peeks over the edge of her blankets. She listens, entranced. The blacksmith's young apprentice Finn stops by the open doorway, his hammer forgotten in his hand. All who hear the music pause in their tasks. It is as if the music itself has woven a spell, drawing them to the window, to the door, to any spot where they might catch a glimpse of the minstrel and his enchanted lute. The minstrel plays on, oblivious to the gazes upon him, lost in the music that flows through his fingertips. His voice joins the melody, weaving tales of starlight and dreams. He sings of faraway lands and of adventures bold, of heroes and monsters and magic untold. As the music swells, so does the magic of the lute. Faintly at first, a ripple of light spreads from the instrument, growing brighter, more defined. It shimmers and dances, taking on a life of its own. Tiny motes of dust caught in the golden rays spin and twirl, forming shapes both grand and small, a silent ballet in the morning light. A small girl with eyes as blue as forget-me-nots gazes in wonder. A gruff-looking guard, his armor gleaming, leans against a nearby wall, tapping his foot to the rhythm. Even Old Man Hemlock, gnarled and bent with age, finds himself tapping his staff on the floor, a smile crinkling his ancient eyes. The music fills the hall, spilling out the open doors and into the cobblestone streets. It climbs the crooked houses, climbs the weathered walls, climbs into the very heart of the town. And wherever it touches, it brings a sense of peace, of joy, of belonging. Then as suddenly as it began, the music stops. The last note hangs in the air, trembling slightly before it too fades away. Silence returns, but it is a different silence now, vibrant and alive, filled with the lingering echoes of the minstrel's song. The villagers stir from their entranced state, blinking as if waking from a shared dream. They look towards the minstrel, their faces a mixture of wonder and gratitude. Some offer shy smiles, others nods of thanks. But none speak, for what words could express the magic they had just witnessed? What language could convey the emotions stirred within their hearts? Slowly, as if realizing the spell was broken, the townsfolk begin to stir back into their daily routines. Old Man Hemlock closes his window, shading his eyes against the sunlight. Elspeth snuggles deeper into her blankets, humming a tuneless little song. Finn straightens his shoulders, picks up his hammer, and heads back to his work. The minstrel watches them go, a gentle smile gracing his lips. He knows that the magic of his lute is not in the dazzling displays, but in the subtle touches, in the moments of quiet beauty, in the peace it brings to those who hear its song. As the sun climbs higher in the sky, the minstrel sets about his chores, his mind still echoing with the music of the morning. The day stretches before him, filled with the simple tasks and quiet joys that make up his life. Yet as he goes about his work, he can't help but feel the lingering magic of the dream. The memory of the starlight lullaby woven into the very fabric of the town. For even in the waking world, the touch of dreams can linger, leaving echoes of wonder in its wake. This is the third dream given to the minstrel by the weaver, one of many to come. The minstrel walks further. Each step is silent, yet the dream answers with sound, a low hum, a gentle echo. A resonance as though the sky itself is an instrument and his presence has plucked its strings. The stars sway slowly above. Some brighten, some fade, all in rhythm with his music. He notices now that they seem to breathe, a steady expansion, a gentle release. The heavens inhale and exhale with him, as though he has become part of their rhythm. The lute hums warmly in his hands. Its strings glow faintly, golden and silver threads that pulse like veins of light. Each note lingers longer here, stretching out, fading not into silence, but into a deeper layer of sound, a velvet hush that wraps around him like a cloak. Ahead, he sees something rising from the tapestry. At first, it is only a ripple in the woven cloth. Then it grows taller, forming shapes, walls, towers. A city spun entirely of thread, its buildings shimmer in the starlight, woven of patterns too delicate for waking eyes to see. The minstrel steps closer. He enters the gate, searches braided from strands of silver. The streets are quiet, no footsteps, no voices, only the hum of the lute and the faint rustle of woven air. Yet he feels he is not alone. The city itself listens. The walls lean inward, the streets curve softly, as though every thread is drawn toward his song. He pauses in the center of the dream city. He plucks a gentle chord. Sound rings out, and the buildings shimmer brighter. Windows flicker with light, threads trembling in harmony. The entire city responds, alive with his music. It is not a bustling place. It is not meant for noise. It is a city of stillness. Every tower, every gate, every woven thread is dedicated to rest. He feels it in his chest, the way the dream wants him to slow even further, to sink deeper, to release every last fragment of weight. He closes his eyes. The lute continues to play itself, its strings vibrating softly, like the heartbeat of the dream. The air grows warmer, like the glow of firelight. The scent of wood smoke returns, and with it, a memory. The hall, the hearth. The villagers leaning close. Their faces are shadows now, but their comfort remains. He remembers their ease, the way their shoulders sank, the way their eyes grew heavy. The memory folds into the dream city as though the villagers themselves had been woven into the fabric. He breathes deeply, and the city breathes with him. He exhales, and the towers shimmer faintly. Threads loosening just enough to let the sound drift outward, carried across the dream. Then, slowly, the streets begin to fade. The towers dissolve into strands of light. City unravels, not in ruin, but in peace. The dream releases it, as though it has served its purpose. The minstrel remains, standing once more upon the great woven sky. Above him, the stars pulse gently, their glow softer, more restful. They are not as sharp now. They blur, like lanterns seen through half-closed eyes. The lute hums lower, its notes stretching longer, sinking deeper. The minstrel feels his eyelids grow heavy even within the dream. He smiles faintly. The dream has given him not only visions, but sleep within sleep. And he allows himself to sink into it, to drift as though upon a river of cloth. The last sound he hears is not a note, not a chord, but the quiet sigh of the dream itself, a sound like the world exhaling, a sound like release. Before the minstrel came to the weaver's hall, his songs had carried tales of faraway lands and daring deeds. His melodies had echoed with adventure. Dumb, but after receiving his gift and his curse, his songs changed. Now they wove dreams into waking moments. His music wove landscapes of slumber and stitched together tapestries of the subconscious. Theirs was an ancient craft, the art of weaving dreams. Theirs were worlds made of moonlight and memory, of starlight and story. Theirs was a magic born of the deepest silences, where the air itself vibrated with potential. In the hushed hours before dawn, when the world held its breath, the weaver spoke. She spoke of hidden pathways in the mind, of subconscious landscapes, of a reality that lay just beyond the edge of perception. Her voice was the soft rustling of leaves in an unseen forest. Her presence was a gentle pull, a silent invitation to explore the hidden chambers of the soul. With her guidance, the minstrel learned to navigate these inner realms, to find melodies in the spaces between thoughts, to discover harmonies in the echoes of memory. The weaver led him deeper into the heart of the dream, a place where logic unraveled and emotions took form. Here logic was a forgotten language, a book left open to a page that could never be read. Here reason was a visitor who came only to marvel at the luminous architecture of the subconscious. Dreams were the currency of this realm, and time had no meaning here. Moments stretched and contracted, danced and waltzed, all according to the whims of the subconscious. The weaver showed him how to ride the currents of the subconscious, to steer the vessel of imagination through the maelstrom of emotions, and to anchor oneself to memories that glowed with an inner light. She taught him to navigate the shifting sands of the unconscious, always bearing in mind the whispers of intuition, the flashes of insight, the sudden clarity that pierced the mists of confusion. In the vast canvas of the subconscious, they traced paths, followed rivers of thought, and built bridges over chasms of understanding. They scaled mountains of emotion, each peak offering a new vista of self-discovery. And through it all, the weaver sang. Her songs wove the very fabric of their journey, guiding them through the labyrinthian passages of the dream. Her voice was the compass of the soul, her lyrics the map to hidden treasures. As they delved deeper, the dream became more vivid, more real, a palpable presence that surrounded them. It throbbed with a life of its own, whispering secrets in forgotten languages. They walked through landscapes that shifted with their every step, where hills were made of stardust and valleys flowed with liquid moonlight. Theirs was a journey of 1,000 nights, or perhaps a single moment, suspended between moments. The boundaries of time and space dissolved, leaving only the echo of eternity. But in the depths of this boundless dream, a shadow stirred. A discordant note rang out, shattering the idyllic silence. It was the cry of the nightmare, a creature woven from the fears and regrets of countless minds. The nightmare stirred, drawn by their presence, sensing the disruption in the delicate balance of the dream. They had awakened something ancient and primal, and now it was coming for them. The weaver turned, her eyes shining with a fierce light. The music changed, taking on a desperate urgency. She placed a hand on the minstrel's shoulder, her touch a jolt of electric awareness. And in that instant, he understood the gravity of their situation. The survival of the dream, perhaps even the balance of the waking world, rested on their actions. This was no longer a journey of discovery, but a fight for existence, a battle between the soothing lullaby of dreams and the cacophony of nightmares. As the discord grew louder, he knew that the music had changed. There was no turning back. He had to confront the nightmare, to drown out its discord with a symphony of hope and courage. This was the test, the crucible of their journey. And as the nightmare loomed closer, the minstrel felt a surge of determination. His fingers tightened on the neck of his lute, his voice echoing with newfound strength. It was time to play a different tune, a melody of resilience, a testament to the enduring power of dreams. The flames dance in his eyes, reflecting the flickering light. His journey is long, his spirit is strong. Surrounding the fire are remnants of his travels, a blanket, a bag of provisions, and an extinguished lantern. And I'm going to use some bits of that description to give us a little story. The minstrel drifts now, as though upon invisible waters. The woven city has faded, its threads unraveling into the night. But their quiet shimmer still lingers in his memory, like the last trace of music after a song is ended. The sky folds gently around him. It is no longer wide and endless, but close and protective, like a blanket. Stars dim, then brighten, then dim again, in slow rhythm, like the breathing of the universe itself. The lute rests in his hands. He does not pluck its strings now. It hums on its own, filling the space between heartbeats, carrying him ever deeper. The sound is not music anymore, not melody or rhythm. It is simply presence, a pulse that reassures him. All is safe, all is calm. He settles down on the mossy stones beside the path, pulls his cloak tighter against the evening chill, and gazes into the flames. Vivid memories return from their hiding places. Faces, places, voices, all loved, all lost. Each memory a precious jewel, each one winking and twinkling in the firelight. He recognizes the glint of mirth, the glow of contentment, the sparkle of hope, the depths of the flames. There's a profound sadness. Sees himself younger, full of dreams. There's laughter, there's joy, and he is happy. But then the shadows lengthen, the light fades, and the memories dim. He remembers pain, loss, fear. There's death in the firelight, but also rebirth. He watches, learns, grows, and with each passing moment, he feels lighter. The weight of memories eases. It becomes stories, tales to tell and retell. He recognizes the pattern of his life reflected in the dancing flames, the highs, the lows, the triumphs, the failures, and most importantly, the love. The love that has sustained him through the darkness, guided him through the storms, and brought him to this very moment. The fire crackles, pops, and spits. Sparks rise, tracing paths through the star-studded expanse above. The minstrel leans back, letting the soothing rhythm of the flames wash over him. As the hours drift by, he feels the fatigue of his long journey seeping out of his bones. His eyelids grow heavy, his breathing slows. The firelight paints stripes of gold across his weathered face, emphasizing the lines etched by time and experience. The lute slips from his fingers, landing softly on the ground. The strings sigh, vibrating with the remnants of a melody that only the wind can hear. The minstrel's head sinks against the trunk of an ancient oak, its gnarled roots forming a rough but comforting pillow. His journey may not be over, but for now he surrenders to the embrace of sleep. The forest, alive with nocturnal sounds, crickets chirping, owls hooting, becomes his lullaby. The fire dwindles, embers glowing like dying embers in the vast expanse of night. Above him, the sky deepens into an inky blue, sprinkled with diamonds of starlight. The trees stand guard, their branches gnarled fingers reaching for the heavens. The minstrel sleeps, oblivious to the world around him, lulled by the symphony of the night. His dreams, a tapestry woven with the threads of his journey, memories, hopes, and fears. Who knows what melodies will dance in his slumber, what fantastical landscapes will unfold, what companions might join him, or what adventures he might embark upon. The fire's last embers fade, surrendering to the insatiable darkness. But the minstrel's spirit, like the music he carries within him, refuses to be extinguished. The next morning, the forest awakens to a new day. Birdsong replaces the nocturnal symphony, and the soft rustle of leaves becomes the dominant sound. Light, filtering through the canopy, paints dappled patterns on the ground where the minstrel rests. A gentle breeze stirs, carrying the scent of wildflowers and ripening fruit. The tranquility of the scene seems almost otherworldly, untouched by the passage of time. When the minstrel stirs, he does so slowly, as if reluctant to break the spell of the forest's embrace. His muscles ache from their long journey, and his eyes, heavy with slumber, blink against the morning brightness. As he rises, his joints pop and creak, protesting the immobility of sleep. But with each movement, stiffness gives way to flexibility, and his body, attuned to the rhythms of the road, begins to loosen. Shaking off the last vestiges of sleep, he turns to assess the remnants of his fire, now reduced to smoldering ashes. The charred logs, stark against the vibrant green, serve as silent witnesses to his nocturnal reverie. A faint smile touches his lips as he gathers his belongings, a worn leather satchel and a cloak, the hood pulled low. The minstrel hums softly, a tuneless melody that speaks of gratitude for the solace found in the heart of the wild. With his lute secured across his back, its wood resonating with the promise of music, he sets out along the path. Each step is measured, each movement controlled, born from years of practice and discipline. He walks not merely to reach a destination, but to connect with the landscape, allowing the rhythm of the road to guide his steps. The forest, once his refuge, now yields to the promise of open fields and distant horizons. As the minstrel continues his journey, the memory of the fire and the peace it brought linger in his heart, a warm ember amidst the cool stones of his resolve. The minstrel, rejuvenated by his night's rest, resumes his journey. The sun, now risen high, bathes the world in golden light. The trees, their leaves rustling softly in the gentle breeze, seem to part and make way for him as he passes. The minstrel, attuned to the language of the woods, responds with quiet grace. A nod to the ancient oak, a gentle word to the babbling brook, a respectful pause when crossing a moss-covered stone. The path ahead stretches invitingly, promising new vistas and perhaps new melodies. But the minstrel, ever mindful of the past, carries the essence of the forest within him, a quiet strength born of solitude, nurtured by the fire's gentle light. As he walks, the minstrel's gaze sweeps across the landscape, taking in the tapestry of colors, textures, and forms that nature has woven. A flash of blue from a kingfisher perched on a twig, the crimson wings of a butterfly dancing among the wildflowers, the silver thread of a spider's web glistening in the sunlight. Each detail, no matter how small, contributes to the symphony of existence, a composition that resonates within him, inspiring both wonder and humility. The minstrel feels a profound connection to the natural world, not merely as an observer, but as an integral part. He is aware of the interdependence of all living things, the delicate balance that sustains life, and the beauty that emerges from this intricate web of relationships. The sun climbs higher, the shadows shorten, and the minstrel quickens his pace. Energized by the prospect of new experiences and the melodies they might bring, the forest, with its ancient wisdom, has replenished his spirit, reminding him of the enduring power of solitude and the transformative potential of rest. As he ventures forth, he carries this newfound vigor, ready to embrace whatever challenges and inspirations await him on the open road. The fire glows steadily, its light painting gentle waves across the stones and earth. The minstrel breathes with it, slow, even as though each ember's rise and fall guides his chest to follow. The silent figure remains across from him, unmoving, unhurried. Their presence is calm, not asking, not demanding, simply existing. And in that quiet, the minstrel feels safe enough to surrender further. His eyelids flutter shut once more. Behind them, colors stir, not harsh or bright, but muted and flowing like threads dipped in soft dye. They weave themselves together, slowly, gracefully, into patterns he cannot name. At first, they are cloth, stripes, checks, gentle motifs as though recalling the looms he once passed in distant towns. But then the patterns shift. They dissolve into waves, into ripples of water. The dream changes. He finds himself standing at the edge of a lake. Surface is still, so perfectly smooth that the stars above seem to float within it. The air is cool here, and the sound of the fire fades into memory. The silent figure has not followed. Only the minstrel is here, but he does not feel alone. The lake itself feels alive, aware, as though it is watching him with infinite gentleness. He kneels at the shore. The lute hums softly as though sensing the water's presence. He dips his hand into the surface. Ripples expand, spreading light outward in circles. Each ripple rings like a note, pure and clear, singing into the night. He realizes now that this is no ordinary water. It is a mirror of sound itself, a pool of music, gathered from every song that has ever been sung, and every song that will one day exist. He leans closer. His reflection stares back. But the reflection is not entirely his own. The face is younger, then older, then not his at all. Many faces shimmer in the water, singers, players, storytellers, all joined by the lute's lineage. The lake whispers, not with words, but with vibration, like the faint pluck of a string resonating in his bones. It tells him, this is the source. This is where music begins. Every note, every melody is born here from silence, and returns here when it fades. The minstrel closes his eyes, listening deeper. He feels the weight of centuries, lutes carved by careful hands, voices raised in joy, in grief, in longing. Every heart that ever sought expression has left its trace in this lake, and he is part of it, not apart, but joined, a single thread in the endless weave. The realization fills him, not with pride, not with burden, but with peace. He does not have to carry music alone. It carries him, as it always has. The lute in his lap grows warm. It vibrates faintly, tuned not by his hand, but by the lake's resonance. A single note hums through the air, low, endless, a lullaby, without beginning or end. The minstrel lies back, the soft grass beneath him. He stares at the stars above, and at the stars mirrored below. He is between them, floating in infinite quiet. The lake, the sky, the music, they are all the same. One vast cradle holding him gently, rocking him slowly towards sleep. The edges of thought blur. Time dissolves. The fire, the village, the journey, all drift away. Like smoke, like mist, like song fading into silence. There is no need to move forward now. No need to look back. Only stillness. Only rest. And as the last thread of awareness unravels, the minstrel whispers, not aloud, but within himself, thank you for the music, the silence, for the dream. The lake answers with a final ripple, a final note that carries him into the deepest sleep. When he wakes, the embers are cold. The morning mist is rising, veiling the stones and earth in soft gray folds. Beside him, the lute rests quietly, its strings humming faintly, still attuned to the lingering echoes of the dream. The minstrel sits up, cradling the instrument as if to hold its music close. A smile touches his lips, eyes filled with newfound wonder and peace. As he rises, the mist parts, revealing the path ahead. The road winds through the trees, beckoning with the promise of new songs and stories. With a deep breath, the minstrel steps onto the path. Each step is lighter, each stride surer, guided by the music that flows through his veins. The weight of his lineage, once a burden, now a solace. The faces of ancestors swim before him, not as phantoms, but as friends. Their eyes twinkling with shared secrets and ancestral pride. Their spirits walk beside him, not to lead, but to accompany. The minstrel walks on, the lute held high. Its music mingles with the bird's song and rustling leaves, weaving into the tapestry of the day. He sings softly, a melody born of ancient wisdom and newfound joy. His voice resonates with the strength of ages past, tempered by the gentleness of the morning light. The music flows from him, carrying the essence of the lake, the stars, and the fire. It speaks of journeys and discoveries, of battles fought and won, of love and loss and hope's enduring flame. As he walks, the music changes, adapting to the landscape and his wandering soul. The notes dance and shimmer like sunlight on water, cascading over rocks and hills, echoing in the hollows, whispering in the breeze. It is a language without words, yet every heart that hears understands. The minstrel sings on, his spirit soaring, his purpose renewed. The road stretches endlessly before him, brimming with melodies yet to be discovered. Each step brings a new harmony, each mile a verse to add to the song of his life. He walks with the music, letting it guide his wandering feet. Where it leads, he follows, embracing the unknown with a fearless heart and a song upon his lips. The sun climbs higher, bathing the world in golden hues, painting the leaves and sky in vibrant shades of life and hope. And the minstrel, bathed in the radiance, keeps walking, keeps singing, forever bound to the music that flows through his veins, through the stars in the sky, through the very heart of the earth. Do you need a break from reality? You need a place where silence isn't silent and dreams aren't empty? Welcome to the Lake of Whispers. Pour yourself a mug of tea or hot chocolate, grab your favorite blanket, and let's get cozy with today's story. The lake holds him in silence, yet within that silence, sounds bloom not loud, not sharp, but soft as the breath of grass and wind. The minstrel drifts, no longer tethered by the weight of body. He is lighter now, as if the ripples themselves lift him, carry him, fold him deeper into dream. The stars shimmer above, the stars shimmer below, and slowly they begin to blur together, meeting at the edges of sight, until he cannot tell where sky ends and water begins. He floats through them, a traveler, not by foot but by thought. The lute rests in his hands still, yet it feels less like wood and string and more like a living pulse, a heartbeat outside his chest, steady, reassuring. As he drifts, he hears faint songs rising, some clear, some broken, some like whispers in a language long forgotten. Each voice seems to belong to another soul who once leaned close to this lake, searching for the same peace. A woman singing a lullaby, a child humming nonsense, yet somehow sacred. A monk chanting, his tone smooth as stone, a shepherd whistling into the wind. All their songs live here, layered like soft cloths, woven endlessly. The minstrel feels himself becoming thread, woven among them. It's not lost, not erased, but blended beautifully. The pattern stretches beyond sight, every soul, every sound, joined. A hush of wind flows through the dream. It is cool, yet gentle. He opens his eyes. The lake has changed. It is no longer still water. It has become a great tapestry, woven of light and sound. Threads shimmer across its surface, moving slowly like rivers of stars. The lute hums again. Strings are no longer gut, but strands of that very tapestry. When he plucks one, the lake responds, a ripple of light unfolding outward, touching stars, touching silence, touching everything. And in that moment he understands. Every sound is connected. Every lullaby, every prayer, every whispered hope joins together. The lute is not just his instrument, it is the voice of the whole world. The knowledge does not overwhelm, it soothes. Because if all voices are connected, then no voice is ever truly alone. No song is ever lost. Even when forgotten, it is remembered here, woven forever. The minstrel closes his eyes once more. The fabric of the dream wraps him, not tightly, not heavy, but loosely, like a blanket of air. He breathes into it, and the fabric breathes back. Long ago, before the old tales turned to dreams and starlight, there was a minstrel. His name meant wanderer, and wander he did. From valley to mountain, from feast to battle, from king to beggar, his songs went everywhere, echoing in every hall and hearth. He knew every turn of phrase to raise the spirits and every tune to soothe the heart. His voice could make a storm pause in its wrath and a babe forget its weeping. He sang of love and loss, of war and peace, of gods and monsters, of glory and grime, of joy and pain, and of hope in the darkest night. And always he carried his lute, his fingers flying over the strings, drawing forth melodies as endless as the road. Yet even the wandering minstrel grew weary. His throat ached with endless singing, his fingertips bled from plucking too hard. His ears rang with the din of laughter and cheers and applause, and he wandered still, seeking somewhere, some place to rest. And then he heard of a hidden lake in the mountains, wrapped in ancient magic. Some said it was the resting place of a forgotten god. Others claimed it was the mirror of the moon. But all agreed, whatever its source, the lake held a silence that soothed the soul. And the minstrel, oh, how he longed for soothing. So he climbed higher and higher, up paths worn by goat and wolf, past crags that clawed at the sky until the world was hushed, wind-swept and thin. And there it lay before him, dark and deep, still as shadow. No ripples disturbed its face, not even from the breeze. No birds called nearby, no insects buzzed or sang. There was only the scrape of stone and the whisper of self. And as the minstrel stepped closer, the silence welcomed him, enveloping him in quiet. The world fell away. His lute slipped down his shoulder, forgotten. His eyelids grew heavy, drooping lower and lower. He leaned against a stone and closed his eyes, surrendering to the peace. But the silence wasn't empty. Oh no, the minstrel sank into stillness. The world spun around him, colors blooming into view. Above him, the stars shone brighter, painting streaks of light across his vision. Below him, the lake shimmered, rippling with untold starlight. Then the notes began. They rose from the water, swirling upwards, weaving patterns of sound, intricate and unending. They twined together, blending and branching, building layers of luminescence. Higher and higher they climbed, reaching towards the sky, composing a symphony of celestial whispers. And as the minstrel listened, his body tingled, as if the music touched some chord within his bones, awakening something long dormant. His fingers twitched, yearning to pluck strings and make them sing. But the music swelled, drowning out his will, wrapping him tighter. In its embrace, he wanted to rise and join the chorus, to dance and weave with the starlight. But his limbs were leaden, rooted to the spot. And so he watched and he waited, patiently, serenely. And when the first blush of dawn touched the peaks, the music faded. The notes dripped from the sky like melting stars, sinking back into the lake, leaving behind an echo of their song. The minstrel shivered, the last remnants of melody chasing each other through his veins. And as he stood, he noticed the remnants of his lute hung loosely from his hand. And as he reached to grip it, his fingers brushed against a string. As he did, the whole world sighed, the hills, the trees, the lake, the sky. And the music returned, softer now, gentler, flowing from his lute, joining the song of the stars and the murmur of the earth. He played then, drawing forth tunes as old as time, as timeless as the stars, as deep as the lake. And with every note he felt the world breathe easier, lighter, freed. And in the end, when the last echoes faded and the sun climbed higher, the minstrel left his lute beside him and stepped into the lake. He walked on water unfaltering, undaunted. He walked on water unafraid. And so the minstrel became part of the tapestry, his songs interwoven with starlight and stone and silence. The Lake of Whispers remembers all. It gathers every song, every prayer, every whisper of longing, every plea, every lament, every laugh, every joyful shout, every memory, every dream. The lake keeps them all safe, all whole, all intertwined. Here, nothing is lost, nothing is alone, nothing fades away. Everything is gathered, everything is healed. This is the gift of the Lake of Whispers. This is the blessing of the song. Within the silence, would you visit the Lake of Whispers? Have you ever heard a song that echoed in your soul? Do you know a melody that brings you peace? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And while you do, I'll share a story of a lost cat and a healing song. Before we go, please don't forget to leave us a like and subscribe. If you love our stories, we have a newsletter that curates all our content and sends it straight to your inbox. You can sign up through the link in the description. We also have a Patreon where your support helps us keep our content free, so thank you. Until next time, may your tea be warm and your stories even warmer. You are going to love this story. The fabric of dreams stretches wide. There are no walls here, no edge to the sky, no weight to the ground. Only drifting, soft and endless. The minstrel is no longer walking, no longer sitting, no longer holding anything. He is carried, he is floating. He is gently rocked, as though the whole universe has become a cradle, rocking him into sleep. Colors move like breath. Blue melts into silver, silver into gold, gold into a kind of hush, soothing, almost invisible. It is not the glow of fire, not the cold of moon, but something older, something softer, a glow of rest itself. From this glow, music rises, not played by fingers, not struck by hand, but born naturally like wind in a hollow reed, like rain striking soft earth. A melody so quiet, so patient, that it feels less like sound and more like memory. The minstrel drifts closer. He cannot see where it comes from. The music has no source. It is everywhere at once, weaving through the dream. But as he listens, he begins to feel that he is not outside it. He is within it. He is part of the music itself. A single note stretches, long and low, steady as a heartbeat. Then another joins, higher, clearer. Together they blend, rising and falling, like the slow rocking of a boat. He feels it, the lull, the hypnotic draw, the promise that nothing needs doing, that time itself is paused, that here in this dream, rest is eternal, and as he drifts, faces appear. Not sharp, not solid, but soft as candle smoke. They are villagers, kings, monks, children, all leaning in close, as if sitting once more by his fire, listening to his lute. But this time no lute is needed. The song flows without strings, without wood, without breath. It belongs to everyone. It always has. The minstrel realizes, perhaps with the faintest smile, that he has been playing this song his whole life, even when his hands were still, even when silence filled the air. The music was always there, woven in his being, woven in theirs. Softly, he lets the faces drift away. He does not cling. He does not call after them. He lets them fade, gentle as smoke, trusting that they remain, woven into the great fabric. The glow deepens, the music slows. The cradle of the dream rocks more steadily now. Every sway draws him closer to sleep. Every breath is lighter, slower, quieter. The minstrel drifts on, not searching, not playing, not telling, just resting, resting inside the song, resting inside the dream, resting inside the endless hush. And so, the world closes in soft silence, a silence not empty, but full. Full of warmth, full of comfort, full of the promise that nothing more is needed. Only this, only rest, only sleep. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey. I hope you found moments of peace and connection within the story. Your presence as a listener means the world to me. If this story touched your heart or sparked your imagination, I invite you to show your support. Each like and comment helps spread the magic of these tales and brings us closer to our dream of reaching more listeners like you. I'm sending all of you the very best wishes for a peaceful day. May you find moments of joy, connection, and above all, may you experience the comforting embrace of rest. Canto, until we meet again in our next story, keep carrying the magic within you, nurture the spark of imagination, and never stop believing in the power of dreams. Dream well, dear friends. For within the realm of dreams, anything is possible. Thank you once again for being a part of our story and for sharing this magical moment with me. Sending you warm wishes, and until next time, may your days be filled with wonder and your nights with peaceful dreams. We all know that feeling when the sun dips below the horizon and the world seems to shift. The daytime vibrancy gives way to a quieter hum, a softer palette of light and shadow. It's a moment of transition, a pause between activity, a prelude to rest. What if we could bottle that feeling, not just observe it, but really inhabit it? That's what this piece tries to do. It doesn't try to evoke the darkness, but the liminal space just before it, where daydreams meet the coming night, where shadows lengthen but not quite yet into darkness. It's a time for quiet reflection, for letting go of the day's sharpness, for turning down the volume on the world's demands. It's an invitation to surrender to the soothing embrace of the evening. In the grand narrative of a day, this moment is brief, almost imperceptible. Yet its impact is profound. It's a daily reminder that even in the face of relentless routines and responsibilities, there are pockets of tranquility waiting to be discovered. It's about finding beauty in the subtle shift of light, in the hushed tones of nature, in the soft contours of a fading day. This piece is dedicated to those moments. It's for the quiet strength found in vulnerability, the wisdom that whispers in solitude, the healing touch of introspection, and the comfort of simply being. If you find solace in these musings, please share your thoughts. Your comments are like stars that light up my musical cosmos, inspire me, guide me, and make every musical journey that much brighter. So take a moment, leave a comment, and let's make this musical universe a richer place together. A crisp breeze plays across the land, rustling through leaves and whispering tales of the day gone by. It weaves through the village, stirring memories and dreams alike. Each house stands bathed in the warm hues of twilight, sharing stories of lives lived within their walls. The minstrel sits nestled in the corner of a dimly lit room. The day's journey etched on his face, a roadmap of smiles and squints around his eyes, a hint of weariness on his lips. His lute rests on his lap, a silent partner in the tales he spun across the miles. Around him, the villagers slumber, their breaths mingling with the cricket's song. Dreams dance behind closed eyelids, each person wrapped in the cocoon of their own narratives. Outside, the night deepens, yet it never grows heavy. It grows lighter instead, like silk unwinding in the dark. Every moment feels softer, as though time itself is wrapped in wool, muffled, gentle. The minstrel lies still, his lute resting beside him. Strings, though untouched, hum faintly, not with sound, but with memory. Each note he ever played lingers in the wood, in the air, in the firelight. The air is alive with the ghosts of melodies, a testament to stories once brought to life by his nimble fingers. Nearby, the villagers have fallen quiet. No laughter now, no whispering. Just the sound of breathing, steady and slow, like the tide of a hidden sea. Each breath joins the music, and the room becomes a choir without words. The fire crackles softly, painting dancing shadows on the walls, keeping the darkness at bay, offering warmth and a sense of security. It reflects in the minstrel's half-closed eyes, mirroring the flickering emotions of a day relived in dreams. Outside, the wind drifts low across the fields, weaving through the tall grasses, carrying scents of hay, of damp stone, of wood smoke curling from the chimneys of cottages. It's a comforting medley that speaks of hearth and home, of simple joys and labors of the day. It carries also the soft hush of distant leaves, their edges whispering secrets to the night. The minstrel breathes in the fragrance, a smile touching his lips. It's a scent of home, of journeys ended and new ones begun, of laughter shared and stories told. It's the perfume of life well lived. He shifts slightly, his gaze wandering to the dancing flames, each flicker a tiny story, each ember a memory glowing.
Oh.
In the vast expanse of the night, the wind's lullaby reaches a crescendo, momentarily drowning out the crackling fire. The trees stand tall, their branches clawing at the fading light, their leaves rustling in a language older than words. The wind's tale is one of resilience, of bending without breaking, of reaching towards the light even in the gathering dark. It's a tale as old as time, yet as fresh as the morning dew, reminding all who listen of the enduring spirit of life. The fire pops, drawing the minstrel's attention back to the dancing flames, their erratic rhythm mirroring the unpredictable nature of life. Some moments, like logs hitting the hearth, are sudden and striking, demanding attention. Others, like the embers fading into the ash, are slow and subtle, easily overlooked. Yet both are vital to the warmth they create, the light they cast, the stories they tell. The minstrel knows this well. He's seen countless sunsets, each unique, each beautiful in its own way. Yet it's in the quiet embers that he finds solace, in the gentle crackle that echoes the quiet hum of existence. The minstrel closes his eyes, the scent of the wind, the crackle of the fire, the rustle of the leaves, all blending into a harmonious whole. It's a lullaby that soothes his weary soul, lulling him into a state of peaceful introspection. The weight of the day, the aches in his bones, the calluses on his fingertips, all fade into the background. In their place is a growing sense of tranquility, a feeling of being utterly present in this moment of quietude. As the night drapes itself over the village, enveloping it in a velvety darkness, the minstrel drifts further into his reverie. His thoughts, usually as restless as the wind, settle down, becoming as still as the sleeping villagers around him. The boundaries between wakefulness and sleepiness blur, and he finds himself teetering on the edge of dreams. The lute in his arms feels like an extension of his soul, its wood warm and familiar against his skin. The strings, usually taut and vibrant with potential, are relaxed, their tension eased, mirroring the calmness that has settled over him. A single cricket chimes in, its song clear and resonant in the sudden quiet. It's a call to stillness, an invitation to revel in the peace of the evening. And the minstrel accepts, surrendering to the quiet magic of the night. The fire, now a low smolder, continues its ancient vigil, casting long, distorted shadows on the walls. These shadows, like memories, stretch and warp, twisting the familiar into something fantastical. Yet they, too, are a part of the whole, adding depth and texture to the richness of the moment. The minstrel sees not just shadows, but stories frozen in time, tales of days gone by, and adventures yet to come. He dreams of roads lined with torches glimmering in the mist. He dreams of bridges arched in stone, where water laps slowly below, silver with moonlight. He dreams of banners unfurled, threads catching the night air, woven in the colors of places he once called home. But in these dreams, there is no haste. No wait. The journeys stretch gently, like paths in a meadow. The bridges hold no danger, the banners move without sound. Everything is slowed, softened, so that nothing sharp remains. Even history itself, the battles, the marches, the kings and quarrels, is quiet here. Only the music stays, only the fire, only the hush. And then the music starts. It rises softly, hesitantly at first, like a shy bird testing the air before its song. Then it swells, gaining confidence, its melody weaving through the night, filling every corner, climbing higher, becoming bolder. It's a song without words, a ballad of the evening, a hymn to the quiet strength of the night. The tune flows from the minstrel, from the lute, from the very essence of his being, and it fills the room, enveloping the sleeping villagers in its embrace. And the minstrel sleeps on, his heart beating slower, his chest rising, falls. The cradle of sound still rocking him, still carrying him through layer upon layer of quiet. The lute sighs again, not by his hand, but by the dream's hand. It sings a lullaby older than words, a lullaby without beginning, without end. One that sounds like the sea, and the forest, and the fire, and the hush of loved ones close. And it carries him deeper and deeper still, till the night itself becomes the music, until the music itself becomes sleep. The fire dwindles, the shadows grow longer, and the music fades, leaving behind a profound silence, a silence pregnant with dreams, with memories, with the echoes of a day's journey. The night has fallen, but it's not a heavy blanket of darkness, but a soft, comforting shawl, woven with the threads of 1,000 stories. It's a night for dreams, a night for hope, a night for the quiet heroism of simply being. This is a story about memory, about how what we remember shapes who we are, and how those memories have a life of their own. And this is a story about a minstrel, a traveling musician, one of those nameless faces that populates medieval tapestries and paintings. A type often given the title of the wandering Jew, though wandering anywhere else except these tales is never Jewish. He's called the minstrel because that's what he is, a minstrel, though some say that isn't his real name. And some say he'll wander forever, or at least until his song fades from the world. Now, if you know me, you know this. Woe, and be the first time I tell a story about a minstrel, and it probably woe, and be the last. He's a character that fascinates me, someone whose life is inextricably tied to the stories they carry and the songs they sing. He's both more and less than his art, both the sum of his journey and the solitary of himself on the road. To understand him, you have to understand his music, which may seem easy and yet is maybe impossible. Like all art, it's open to interpretation. Every note can mean something different for someone different. something that may not even occur to the person who wrote it. This is where our story starts, or at least where it starts for him. The fire dwindles lower now, embers glowing like small suns buried beneath the wood. Each one pulses softly, breathing with the night. When the air shifts, the ashes sigh, and sparks lift slowly, only to fade again, like fleeting dreams. The minstrel stirs, but only faintly, not by worry, but by journeys well-traveled. He's somewhere outside of town, sleeping beside a fire, with his loyal hound, sheltering beneath the branches of an ancient oak. His lute lies propped against a gnarled root nearby, just out of reach. In the distance, beyond the trees, a faint light flickers like a fallen star, casting a glow upon the leaves that rustle like whispers in their sleep. Nearby, a cricket chirps incessantly. A lone owl hoots, answering some unseen call from the depths of the wood. In the firelight, the minstrel shivers slightly, pulling his threadbare cloak tighter around his shoulders. The chill of the night seeps into the hollows of his bones. He dreams. In his dream, he walks a long road of meadow grass. The path bends gently, never sharp, never steep. Each step is cushioned by earth and moss. Every sound is softened, like wool drawn across stone. He passes a wooden bridge. Its timbers creak, but kindly, as though welcoming his weight. Beneath, a stream slides slow and silver. Fish move like shadows in the current. Their fins glimmer only for a moment, then vanish. The water does not rush. It hums. It hums like strings. Beyond the bridge, fields spread wide. Golden stalks of barley bend under the moonlight. They sway with the same rhythm as the minstrel's breath. Back and forth, back and forth. A lullaby of harvest, older than the stones of castles, older than the tales of kings. He carries his lute still, though in the dream it feels weightless, as though carved of air. The strings glisten faintly, each one like a thin thread of dawn. When his hand brushes them, notes float into the fields. Not loud, not proud, but drifting, like petals caught in a breeze. Here in the real world, the villagers shift again in their sleep. Their rest is deepened by the song that lingers between waking and dreaming. Some hear it as a melody, some as a hum, some as silence, so full it feels like music. The minstrel smiles in his dream. Ahead a cottage waits, thatched roof, wooden beams, a single window glowing. The door is open, and a gentle fire flickers within. He steps inside and finds no one. Only a chair by the fire, only bread on the table, only warmth. He sits. The lute rests across his lap. The chair creaks softly, its wood groaning like an old friend. The firelight strokes his face, and he closes his eyes. One hand strums the strings. The sound fills the room, round and mellow. It rolls through the beams, slides under the door, slips out into the night. The fire listens, the walls listen, the earth itself listens, and nothing stirs to interrupt. No wind rattles, no owls call, no voices murmur. It's only the lute, the fire, and the silence, woven together like threads in a loom. His music is not a song, but a circle. No beginning, no ending. A sound that feels as though it has always been there, waiting only for him to touch it, to remind the air of its own melody. In his dream, he begins to see colors. The notes rise into the air and change, one into a ribbon of gold, another into silver, another into blue, so deep it feels like a night sky. They float upward, curling like smoke, weaving into patterns. Stripes and checks, like the cloths woven in medieval looms, each town once known by its own colors. But here, the colors are not claimed. They belong to the night. They belong to the dream. And slowly, the minstrel drifts further. The lute grows lighter, until at last, it is only light itself. The fire hums in harmony. The chair rocks gently, though no one moves it. And the minstrel sighs as though letting go of centuries. Outside, the stars lean closer still. The village sleeps deeply. The night folds everything into its quiet arms, and the music, softer now, flows on without end. It's morning when he wakes. The fire's long dead, banked two glowing embers, hidden beneath the wood. The sky's beginning to lighten in the east, painting the leaves with hints of rose and gold. The air is still and cool, heavy with the scent of pine and damp earth. The minstrel stretches, his joints popping like firecrackers, and runs a hand through his tangled hair. The hound stirs at his side, tail thumping softly against the ground. The minstrel rises, his cloak falling to the ground like a discarded shadow. He picks up his lute, its wood warm beneath his fingertips. And for a moment, he just holds it, letting the silence spin between them like a web spun from starlight. Then he begins to play. The first notes are tentative, hesitant, like a shy bird testing the air. Then they gather strength, soaring higher, filling the clearing with sound. The melody twists and turns, climbing and falling, echoing with the loneliness of the road and the solace of the hearth. It speaks of battles fought and victories won, of love found and lost, of laughter shared and tears cried alone. As the minstrel plays, the forest stirs, leaves rustling in time with the music. Branches swaying like dancers in a silent ballet. The birds awaken, their sleepy chirping fading into the melody. Even the babbling brook seems to hush, listening to the minstrel's song. When the music fades, the forest sighs. A lone deer steps out from the trees, ears pricked, listening for any sound of danger. But the minstrel has finished. He stands, his back to the rising sun, his shoulders slumped, the weight of centuries pressing down upon him. The deer, sensing no threat, dips its head and begins to eat from the tender shoots springing up through the undergrowth. The minstrel watches, his fingers still hovering above the strings. The forest, the birds, the brook, they're all awake now, stirring, calling, rushing, tumbling into the day. But he remembers the peace of the night, the solace of the fire, the echo of his song and the silence of the trees. He takes a deep breath, the rising sun warming his face, and he knows he must move on. That the road stretches endlessly before him, filled with wonders and perils, with laughter and tears, with stories waiting to be told. So he turns away from the dawning day and walks into the cool shadows of the woods, his lute slung across his back, his hound at his heels, his eyes searching the path ahead. This is my gift to you. Story born in the hush of the night and whispered in the peace of the morning. May it find you well and leave you in peace. When the chords finally fade away and the last echoes of the lute linger in the air, the silence that follows is not an ending but a continuation. A continuation of the journey inwards that began when the first notes touched your ears. As the minstrel lowers his head in the lute, the fire seems to glow a little dimmer, not in brightness but in hue. The flames dance a little slower, their flickering shadows softer on the thatched walls. The air, no longer vibrant with music, grows still. You might notice the winds return, rustling through the eaves, carrying whispers of stories from distant lands. But here in the village square, the quiet hums with a different melody, the quiet companionship of a shared silence. The lanterns hanging between the houses sway gently, their glow painting elongated shadows that stretch and shrink with the subtle breeze. They're like watchful eyes blinking slowly, marking the passing moments. And as you stand there in the gathering dusk, you might find yourself leaning into that silence, feeling its comforting weight. You realize that you've exhaled, your shoulders slumping a fraction. Your gaze unfocuses on the dancing flames, on the star-dusted sky, or the weathered face of the minstrel. His fingers, calloused and strong from years of plucking the strings, rest momentarily on the lute's neck. His eyes, crinkled at the corners from a lifetime of smiles, are gazing into the fire. In those embers, he finds a reflection not of himself, but of the day's journey. And you find yourself leaning into that silence, feeling its comforting weight. The melody has shifted, becoming a low, steady hum in the deepest chambers of your chest. Your own heartbeat echoing the rhythm of the dying embers, the crickets chirp in the nearby fields. An lone owl calls out, its voice a haunting echo in the vastness of the twilight sky. Yet, amidst this symphony of twilight, you sense a profound tranquility. The world shrinks, the noise fades, and all that remains is the comforting presence of the moment. Quiet lullaby sung by the rustling leaves and the crackling fire. The minutes drift by, each one a soft brush upon your skin, cooling, soothing, calming. The silence isn't empty. It's full of warmth, full of quiet companionship, full of rest. You might find yourself closing your eyes, letting the shadows play across your eyelids like ink on aged parchment. In this timeless space, you shed the weight of the day, the tasks, the worries, the plans. You release them to the twilight, allowing them to dissolve into the star-studded expanse above. You feel a gentle tug at your sleeve and turn to see a young girl standing beside you. Her eyes wide and innocent, mirroring the wonder of the night. She offers you a small, shy smile, and in that gesture, you see a reflection of yourself, a younger version bathed in the ethereal glow of the firelight. As she stands there, you remember a time when the world's music was a constant companion, when life's melody resonated within you, untroubled by the dissonance of adulthood, and for a fleeting moment, you are that child again, wrapped in the cocoon of the music, secure and at peace. The old minstrel stirs, his eyes still fixed on the fire. He strums a single chord, a deep, resonant sound that vibrates through your bones, through the very core of the earth. The strings sigh under his touch, and as he begins to play, the firelight seems to leap and dance with renewed vigor. The flames reach up, twisting and turning, their reflections weaving tales on the thatched ceiling above. The music swells, filling the square with a rich tapestry of sound. The notes dance and intertwine, creating a magical aura that envelops you, lifting you from the depths of contemplation to a realm of pure auditory delight. Yet even in this symphony of sound, there's a thread of melancholy. The music speaks of distant lands, of rolling hills and winding rivers, of bustling cities and forgotten ruins. It tells stories of love and loss, of triumph and despair, of lives lived and lessons learned. And as you listen, you're transported, carried away on a stream of sound. You're in the bustling marketplace, haggling over spices and silks. You're in the tavern, sharing tankards with weary travelers. You're in the moonlit forest, where ancient trees whisper secrets to the wind. And then the music shifts, the tempo slows, and the minstrel's voice, rich and resonant, fills the air. His lyrics paint vivid pictures, each word a brushstroke on the canvas of your imagination. You see a knight in shining armor, charging into battle. You see a humble farmer, toiling in the fields. You see a young lover, whispering sweet nothings beneath a flowering tree. The music flows, and with it, your emotions surge. You laugh, you cry, you cheer, you sigh. You are utterly immersed in this sonic landscape, lost in the magic of the minstrel's art. But then, just as suddenly as it began, the music stops. The lute falls silent, and the minstrel takes a final bow. The applause is thunderous and well-deserved. For in that brief span of time, he's taken you on a journey through the vast landscapes of life, through the labyrinth of human emotions. And now, as the music fades and the lights dim, you find yourself changed, enriched, inspired. The fire crackles, sending sparks spiraling into the night sky, their brief brilliance mirrored in your own awakened eyes. You stand there, surrounded by the echoes of the music, the lingering scent of wood smoke, and the warm glow of camaraderie. And in that moment, you know that you'll carry a piece of this magic with you. A melody that will resonate in your heart long after the last note has faded away. And now we rest. We have come to the end of our journey. These tales are ended. These songs are finished. But the hush is deep now. The villagers breathe slow. The fire has softened into red glow, embers resting in their bed of ash. The night carries its own song, a song without words, without instruments, only the rhythm of the world settling into stillness. A dog curls near the fire's edge. Its chest rises, falls. The faintest sigh escapes it, a dream stirring in sleep. The minstrel hears it and smiles softly. Even animals, he thinks, are soothed by the music. Even they know the comfort of quiet. The minstrel adjusts his cloak. It is old, patched in places, but warm. The fabric holds the scent of long roads, of inns and markets, of rain and smoke. Each thread is a memory. And now, by this hearth, it becomes another. A memory of calm, a memory of peace. He lays a hand across the lute's frame. The wood is smooth, yet scarred in places from years of travel. Each mark is a story. Each scratch a tale of roads walked, songs sung, hearts touched. He feels the grain, the warmth left from the fire, and he knows this lute is more than wood. It is a vessel for dreams.
Oh.
The villagers shift quietly. No one speaks. Their silence is not emptiness. It is presence. It is listening. It is the kind of silence that holds you rather than leaves you alone. Outside the circle of firelight, the night stretches wide. Owls call in distant trees. Like a fox moves silently through the hedgerow. The moon bathes the world in silver. It is a world alive yet calm. A world breathing yet hushed. Minstrel plucks one string, just one. Sound is low, round, a single ripple in still water. It vanishes, and the silence welcomes it back. He lets the quiet remain. For sometimes one note is enough. Sometimes the space around the sound is the true song. A woman draws her shawl around her shoulders. She leans her head against the wall of her cottage, eyes closed. Her lips curve in the faintest smile. She does not need more. The night has already given her peace. A man stretches his legs, boots shifting in the dirt. He yawns, but does not rise. His body has grown heavy, but his heart has grown light. The music has done this lifted weight, set down burden, replaced thought with calm. The minstrel feels their ease, breathes it in, and he too is soothed. For though he is the one playing, he is also part of this circle. He is not apart from them, is among them. Together, they share the stillness. The fire cracks softly. One ember falls, breaking into tiny sparks. They flicker, then vanish, and the hush deepens again. The minstrel closes his eyes. In the darkness behind them, he imagines places he has been, stone bridges over rivers, halls filled with banners, quiet chapels where echoes lived, fields golden with wheat. But none of those places are needed now. Here, in this simple village, is all the world requires. Here, with this circle of quiet listeners, is enough. He strums gently, barely brushing the strings. The sound is fragile, like glass touched by light. It does not startle. It does not demand. It invites. It comforts. It says, all is well. And perhaps as you listen, you hear those same words whispered within yourself. All is well. All is calm. All is safe. Your breathing steady, your body sinking deeper, your thoughts softening, drifting, settling. The night sky deepens. Stars appear in greater number. They are endless. And yet each one seems to lean down to keep watch, to glow just enough to remind you that you are never alone. The minstrel lifts his gaze. His lips move silently as though he thanks the stars. Thanks them for the road, for the night, for the quiet company. The lute hums with another chord. 'Tis round, it is full, it spreads like warmth through the circle. Every heart feels it, every breath holds it. The chord lingers, then fades. And again, the hush remains. The dog shifts closer to the fire. Its paws twitch gently in dream. Perhaps it dreams of running fields. Perhaps it dreams of warm hands. Whatever its dream, it is soft, it is safe. The minstrel sets the lute against his chest. He rests his cheek upon it, listening not to the strings, but to the quiet wood itself. It has its own heartbeat, its own sigh, and it hums with him, with them, with the night. The hush holds, the stillness deepens, and you too are held in it. You too are wrapped by the sound and the silence. Every breath slower, every thought lighter, every muscle looser, all the world saying rest. From the very first moment I heard this track, I knew I wanted to create something special based on it. The combination of Lorena McKennett's ethereal vocals, the haunting melody, and the mystical lyrics resonated deeply within me, transporting me to a realm of enchantment and wonder. I was captivated by the storytelling aspect of the song, the imagery of a minstrel sharing tales and music in a timeless tradition. It evoked a sense of nostalgia and connectedness to a rich cultural heritage. I found myself drawn to the introspective lyrics, which touched upon themes of identity, self-discovery, and the search for belonging. The song's message of finding solace in the beauty of the natural world and embracing the cycles of life and death was incredibly comforting and thought-provoking. It served as a reminder to appreciate the present moment and find joy in the simple things in life. The instrumental breaks showcased the virtuosity of the musicians involved, allowing them to improvise and display their mastery of their craft. The interplay between the instruments created a tapestry of sound that was both intricate and harmonious. Overall, my experience listening to this song was deeply enriching. It left me feeling a sense of awe and appreciation for the power of music to transport us to different realms of emotion and thought. I highly encourage you to listen to it and see where it takes you. Welcome back. Thank you so much for joining me today. I know some of you have been waiting for the next part of The Minstrel's Tale. We left off with the minstrel making his way to the village after leaving the Duke's estate. He was weary and hoping for food and rest. The villagers were also going about their daily business, each with their thoughts and worries and hopes. The minstrel approached cautiously, trying to read the mood, sensing the weight of their gaze upon him. He lifted his head and sang out a song of old, something hopeful, something strong, a song of journeys and quests, of laughter and cheer. Yet as he played, the villagers stirred uneasily, muttering among themselves, shaking their heads. Even the children seemed troubled, hiding behind their mothers' skirts. Their faces, usually bright with mirth, were clouded with worry. As he finished, silence met him, thick and heavy. Their gazes, sharp and questioning, stared at him from under furrowed brows. Only the fire, leaping and dancing, seemed untroubled. Its flames licked up, eager and bright, offering warmth and light. Then a girl, bolder, or perhaps hungrier than the rest, stepped forward. Her voice, clear and sweet, cut through the quiet. She asked for a tale, not a song, something to chase away the gloom that pressed upon their hearts. Now, as the firelight flickered and danced, painting shifting patterns on the anxious faces around him, the minstrel knew he could not offer them a song. This night, they needed something else, something stronger, something deeper. So he let his fingers pause. He does not rush. He knows music is not always in sound. Often music is in the space between. The pause, the breath, the waiting. It is here, in this silence, that the heart learns to listen. The villagers feel it too. They do not fidget, they do not murmur. They sit still, as though the hush itself has wrapped them in a blanket. It is a blanket of firelight, a blanket of night, a blanket of shared presence. The fire gives a low sigh, a crackle that dances upward, sending sparks into the dark. The sparks rise, then fade, just as the notes of the lute do. They live briefly, beautifully, then return to stillness. And this, too, is music. The minstrel takes another breath. He remembers the roads he walked to arrive here. Dusty paths through fields, stone steps across rivers, wind-swept ridges where the sky seemed endless. All those miles brought him here, to this hearth, to this circle of quiet faces. His voice stirs, not in song, but in story. He speaks softly, words like woven threads, words that carry as gently as his music. Long ago, he says, there was a song that was never written down, lived only in the air, in the voices of those who remembered it. And whenever it was sung, the night grew softer, as the stars shone brighter. The people listening found peace. The villagers listened, their eyes heavy, their breaths deep. The story is as quiet as the music, and just as soothing. The minstrel smiles faintly. Your song, he says, was not about battles or kings or grand deeds. It was about the small things, a river flowing, a fire crackling, a child sleeping. It was a song of simple calm, and in its simplicity there was strength. He lets the words fade. They do not need to be explained. The villagers understand. You too understand. The power of small things, the power of quiet, the power of rest. He plucks a string again. The note follows the story, carrying it into the air. The sound is warm, mellow, full of kindness. It does not ask for attention. It simply offers comfort. The night leans closer. The stars seem to shimmer in rhythm. The moon, half hidden behind a cloud, emerges slowly, casting silver light over the rooftops, over the cobbled paths, over the quiet crowd. A child nestles closer to her mother's lap. Her eyes drift shut, lashes soft against her cheek. Her hand clutches the edge of her mother's skirt. And then, even that small hand loosens. Sleep has taken her. Peace has found her. The minstrel notices, and his heart softens. He knows his music has done its work. He knows the night has offered its gift. Another villager lowers his head, eyes heavy, chin resting against his chest. His breathing deepens. Hush takes him too. Sleep like a tide rises gently around them all. The minstrel's fingers continue, softly, slowly, as though the strings themselves might dream. He plays, not for wakefulness now, but for rest, not for applause, but for sleep. The fire glows lower. Its light is golden, but its heart is red, deep, like the warmth within your own chest. The glow flickers against the walls. The shadows sway gently like leaves moving in a breeze. Outside, the wind rustles through the trees, not harshly, but kindly. It is a lullaby all its own, nature's song of rest. The minstrel closes his eyes again. He does not need to see to play, he only needs to feel. His hands remember every song, every tune, every gentle rhythm that brings calm. And so he plays by touch, by heart, by silence. The night grows deeper, the stars brighter, the world softer, and you two are drawn further inward, further into calm, further into rest. Your shoulders sink, your breath steadies. Your body loosens, the hush around you becomes the hush within you. The minstrel lowers his voice once more. There is no hurry, he whispers. No road to walk now, no burden to carry. The world will wait. Tonight only rest matters. Tonight only peace. And as the words fall into the circle, the lute joins them. Another chord, rich, low, gentle. It spreads like a wave of warmth, wrapping every listener, wrapping you. The fire sighs again. The embers shift. The smoke drifts upward, thin and silver, carries the last sparks into the night. And everything, every sound, every note, every breath, is slow, steady, calm. The minstrel leans back, the lute against his chest. His head lowers. He breathes deeply. He too feels the hush. He too drifts closer to sleep. The circle of villagers, the glow of firelight, the star-washed sky, all seem to blend together. It is no longer many things. It is one. One calm, one silence, one rest. And in that oneness, the night holds you safe. The night rocks you gently. Night whispers, sleep now. I hope you enjoyed this second part of the Minstrel's Tale. If you did, please consider giving this video a thumbs up. Also, if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. Whenever I publish a new story, you will be notified right away. If you would like to support my work, please become a patron. The link is in the description box below. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you have a beautiful day and rest well. In the heart of a village nestled between rolling hills and a whispering forest, there lived a minstrel. His name was as melodious as the songs he sang, which was fitting for a man whose life revolved around music. The minstrel was known for his soulful tunes that could stir the heart, his enchanting melodies that echoed long after he had finished playing. One evening, as the sun began its descent and painted the sky in hues of orange and purple, the minstrel found himself in a clearing near the village. He had been traveling from town to town, sharing his music and gathering new tales to weave into his songs. And now he felt the pull of rest, a longing for a moment of quietude before he started anew. As the shadows grew longer, he noticed a large, ancient oak tree standing majestically in the clearing, its gnarled branches reaching out like welcoming arms. Beneath its canopy, nestled amongst the roots, was a small fire pit, cold and silent now, but which once had crackled with warmth and light. He decided to make camp here for the night, drawn not only to the tranquility of the spot, but also to the stories his grandfather had told him about this very oak tree. According to legend, the tree was said to possess magical properties, granting wishes to those who slept beneath its branches. Now, whether these stories were mere folklore or had a grain of truth in them, the minstrel couldn't say. But as he settled down for the night, he couldn't help but feel a sense of wonder. As dusk settled and the first stars twinkled in the darkening sky, the minstrel built a small fire and pulled his cloak tightly around him. The night air was growing chilly, but the crackling fire soon warmed him, and the gentle breeze carried the sweet scent of pine from the nearby forest. He leaned back against the rough bark of the oak, its ancient wisdom seeming to resonate with the music in his soul. And then, as if struck by inspiration, he reached for his lute, its worn wood smooth under his fingertips. As the first notes rang out, they seemed to mingle with the rustling leaves and the chirping crickets, creating a harmony that was both enchanting and serene. His songs drifted through the clearing, carrying with them tales of valiant knights and mystical creatures, of lost love and newfound hope. His voice, rich and resonant, echoed the emotions of each story, keeping time with the gentle strumming of his lute. Each note hung in the air, weaving a tapestry of sound that enveloped the clearing. As the music swelled, it seemed to reach out, touching something deep within the minstrel's soul. He played on, lost in the music, until the chords faded and the last echoes died away. The silence that followed was profound, broken only by the crackling of the fire and the distant hoot of an owl. But even in the silence, the minstrel felt a strange sense of connection, as if the very essence of the night was sharing its secrets with him. He gazed up at the star-studded sky, the vastness of the universe humbling him. In that moment, he felt a deep sense of peace, a feeling that transcended the boundaries of his mortal life. And then, as the music faded and the night deepened, the sounds of the forest grew louder, rustling leaves, chirping crickets, and the distant hoot of an owl. The minstrel shivered, pulling his cloak tighter around him. But the fear was quickly replaced by wonder as he realized he wasn't alone. From the edge of his vision, he saw a figure emerge from the darkness. Tall and graceful, she moved with an ethereal beauty that seemed almost otherworldly. Her hair was a cascade of moonlight, her eyes shone like stars, and her skin had the gentle glow of moonlight on snow. She was like a creature of the night, both mysterious and enchanting. She came closer, and the minstrel could make out the contours of her face, the delicate curve of her lips, the high arch of her brow. Her features were hauntingly beautiful, like those of a mythical forest spirit. She stopped a few steps away from him, and the minstrel sat mesmerized, unable to tear his eyes away from her. "Who are you?" he asked, his voice echoing in the stillness of the night. The woman tilted her head, and the minstrel saw a mischievous glint in her eyes. "I am the night," she replied, her voice like the tinkling of a stream. "And you, traveler, what brings you to my woods?" The minstrel hesitated, unsure how to respond. He wanted to tell her about his journey, his music, the stories he carried in his heart. But as he looked into her fathomless eyes, he sensed that she knew much more than he did, that she held secrets that lay beyond the realm of his understanding. "I have traveled far," he finally said, his voice barely a whisper, "and I have walked many paths. But tonight I find myself drawn to the stillness of your woods, seeking solace beneath the ancient oak." The woman nodded slowly. "This is a place of peace," she said softly. "Here the worries of the world fall away and the music of the night echoes through the trees." As the night deepened, the minstrel and the woman spoke. She shared tales of the forest, of the hidden paths, and the ancient magic that pulsed beneath the trees. He told her of his music, of the songs he had learned from wandering minstrels, and the stories they had shared with him. They talked until the moon climbed higher in the sky, bathing the clearing in its silvery light. And as the hours passed, the minstrel felt a connection with this enigmatic being that he couldn't quite explain. Then, as the night reached its peak, the woman turned to him, her eyes shining with an otherworldly glow. "I have a gift for you," she said, extending her hand. And in her palm, the minstrel saw a single silver cord. "Play this chord," she whispered, "and the music of the night will flow through your fingers." The minstrel reached out, his fingers trembling slightly as he took the cord. He could feel the cool metal against his skin, and as he closed his hand around it, sensed a surge of energy coursing through him. "Thank you," he whispered, his voice filled with awe. And then he began to play. The chord resonated with a sound that was hauntingly beautiful, like the song of a mythical creature. The melody flowed through him, and he played until the early hours of the morning, lost in the music that echoed in his soul. As the first rays of sunlight peeked over the horizon, the woman faded from view, leaving the minstrel alone in the clearing. He sat there for a long time, the silver cord warming in his hands, the echoes of their conversation ringing in his ears. He thought about the woman and the magic of the night, wondering if what he had experienced was real or just a figment of his imagination. But as he rose to his feet and started his journey once more, he knew that something had shifted within him. The music he had played, the stories he had shared, and the mystery of the night had woven a spell that would stay with him forever. The minstrel continued his travels, carrying with him the memories of the magical night and the haunting melody of the silver cord. The experience had touched him deeply, leaving him forever changed. And whenever he played his music, there was a new depth, a new resonance that echoed the mysteries of the night and the timeless allure of the unknown. And so the tale of the minstrel and the woman of the night became a legend passed down through the ages. A reminder that sometimes the most enchanting melodies are born from the stillness of the night, in the company of kindred spirits. Welcome, friend, to this quiet place where stories come to life and magic lingers in the air. Today we embark on a journey to a world where music weaves its spell and the very essence of rest finds its voice. Join us as we lose ourselves in a tale that whispers of peace and beckons us to embrace the quiet beauty of a world that sleeps. The night has grown deeper. The edges of the sky have melted into the earth. All that remains is the soft glow of hearth and ember and the silver breath of stars. The minstrel's eyes flutter open again. He has not truly slept, but drifted in the quiet space between waking and dreaming. That place where thoughts move like feathers in the wind, where time slows, where sound becomes touch, where silence becomes song. He sits upright slowly. The cloak shifts, its wool heavy but gentle, and the lute slides forward into his lap once more. He places his fingers on the strings, not to play, not yet, but simply to feel. The gut strings are cool, smooth, quietly waiting. The minstrel gazes again at the villagers around him. Some lie now upon blankets. Some lean against walls. Others rest on the earth itself. Their faces are softened, their mouths slightly parted, their bodies surrendered. They are held by sleep, sleep that came not quickly, but gently, like mist, settling after a long day. The minstrel feels a warmth in his chest, not from the fire, though its glow still reaches him, not from the cloak, though it shields him from the chill, but from the knowing that he is given peace, that his music has opened the door to rest. He plucks one string, a single, low note, not sharp, not demanding. It hums like a memory. The sound rolls outward, mixes with the air, then dissolves into quiet. The minstrel closes his eyes. He follows that sound inward, imagines it circling, like ripples on water, spreading slowly, slowly until they fade into the distance of silence. And he remembers in old times players of lutes were said to calm storms. Not the storms of clouds, but the storms of men. The anger of quarrels, the heat of fear, the weight of sorrow. The lute strings were a bridge to calm. Its sound was a lantern in the dark. He breathes out slowly. You breathe out slowly. The whole world breathes out slowly. The fire shifts again. Ash crumbles. A soft red glow rises, like the slow inhale of earth. The warmth stretches outward, and though faint, it still holds. It still comforts. The minstrel begins to play again, but so softly now that only the nearest shadows can hear it. Each note is like a thread drawn gently through fabric. No rush, no force. Just the rhythm of hands that know the way. The song that comes forth is not one of laughter, not one of dancing, but of steady breathing, of long roads, of quiet evenings when the heart is at ease. The notes are warm but fading, like footsteps disappearing into mist. Each one seems to carry a message unspoken. Rest, rest, rest. And so the minstrel plays. Not for applause, not for coin, not even for company, but for the night itself, for the stars, for the fire, for you. And as you listen, you notice the spaces between the notes. The pauses, the silences, how they seem to open wide, like doorways leading deeper inward. Each pause is a step closer to sleep, each breath a gentle guide into the stillness waiting for you. The minstrel tilts his head, eyes still closed, as if listening with his whole being. His fingers move slowly. The lute sighs in response. And the night gathers the sound, lays it gently across the village, lays it gently across you. The villagers dream. Their dreams are quiet. Some wander green meadows. Some walk familiar streets. Some drift on calm waters. But all are at ease. All are safe. All are resting. The minstrel feels his body heavy now. His shoulders lower. His back softens. His head bows. Even his fingers slow, as though the lute itself is encouraging him to let go. And you, too, may feel the same. The heaviness in your arms, the warmth in your chest, the looseness in your jaw, the calm in your breath. Each note carries you further, further, further into rest. At last, the minstrel lets the final note ring. It hums, it fades, it disappears. silence again. But not an empty silence. A full silence. A silence that holds. The minstrel rests his hand upon the lute's body. He leans back, he exhales, the cloak wraps him once more. The fire hums softly. The night folds around him, and all is well. And you, just like the minstrel, just like the villagers, just like the sleeping world, can rest now. The night is gentle, the night is safe, the night is yours. And now, dear listener, as the embers glow and the night deepens, we invite you to share your thoughts. What melodies have touched your soul? What songs have carried you to peace? Share your stories in the comments below. And if you found solace in this tale, remember to like and subscribe. Your engagement nurtures our creativity, allowing us to weave more enchanting stories for you. Until next time, may your nights be filled with gentle dreams and the magic of storytelling. And always remember, within the quietest moments, the most enchanting stories come to life. Have you ever sat around a campfire late at night, watching the flames dance and flicker in the darkness? Have you ever looked up at the vast expanse of the night sky filled with twinkling stars and felt a sense of wonder and awe? If you have, then you know how captivating and enchanting the night can be.
Ow.
In today's video, we're going to take you on a journey through the mystical realm of nighttime and explore its magical qualities. So grab your blankets and pillows, snuggle up, and get ready for an enchanting adventure. As the sun sets and the first stars begin to appear, the world transforms into a realm of fantasy and mystery. The soft glow of twilight bathes the landscape in hues of purple and pink, creating a dreamy atmosphere that invites us to let our imaginations run wild. The familiar surroundings take on a new look as shadows stretch and twist, transforming ordinary objects into whimsical shapes that dance in the fading light. One of the most enchanting aspects of nighttime is the sense of wonder and curiosity it evokes in us. As darkness falls, our minds become filled with questions and imagination. We wonder about the mysteries of the universe, the secrets of the night, and the countless possibilities that lie within our grasp. This sense of anticipation and excitement makes nighttime a perfect time for storytelling and creates a magical atmosphere for dreams and fantasies to take flight. Nighttime is also a time for reflection and introspection. As the hustle and bustle of the day subsides, we are left with the opportunity to turn inward and connect with our inner selves. The quiet solitude of the night allows us to examine our thoughts and feelings more closely and gain a deeper understanding of ourselves. We can confront our fears, process our emotions, and come to terms with difficult experiences. This journey of self-discovery can be both challenging and rewarding, leading us to personal growth and transformation. Another enchanting aspect of nighttime is the beauty of the natural world. As the sun sets, the sky transforms into a canvas of vibrant colors, creating breathtaking sunsets that leave us in awe. The stars emerge one by one, twinkling like diamonds scattered across a velvety black cloth. The moon, with its silvery glow, casts an ethereal light on the landscape, creating a magical atmosphere that invites us to explore the wonders of the night. For centuries, humans have been captivated by the beauty and mystery of the nighttime. Poets, artists, and storytellers have celebrated the magic of the dark hours, capturing its essence in their works. From the ancient myths and legends of cultures around the world to the modern-day fantasies of authors like J.K. Rowling and C.S. Lewis, nighttime has been a recurring theme in human imagination. One way that people have expressed their fascination with nighttime is through art, paintings. Photographs and sculptures have captured the beauty of the night sky, the haunting allure of the moon, and the whimsical nature of shadows. Artists like Caspar David Friedrich and William Blake have created works that evoke a sense of wonder and contemplation, inviting viewers to appreciate the majesty of the nighttime. Music, too, has played a significant role in capturing the essence of nighttime. From the haunting melodies of Chopin's nocturnes to the ethereal vocals of Enya's Celtic harp, musicians have created compositions that transport listeners to another realm. These pieces often feature instruments such as the piano, harp, and strings, which create a dreamy, atmospheric sound that perfectly complements the mood of the night. Literature is another realm where nighttime has found fertile ground. Authors have used the darkness of night to create suspenseful stories that keep readers on the edge of their seats. Gothic novels like Bram Stoker's Dracula and Mary Shelley's Frankenstein explore the darker aspects of the human psyche and the supernatural elements of the night. On the other hand, Fantasy books like The Lord of the Rings and Harry Potter use nighttime to create a sense of magic and enchantment. Cinema has also embraced the power of nighttime, using it to enhance the visual impact and emotional depth of films. Directors have employed the darkness of night to create scenes of suspense and horror, such as those in Alfred Hitchcock's Psycho or The Blair Witch Project. At the same time, movies like The Nightmare Before Christmas and Pan's Labyrinth use the night sky and stars to create a whimsical, dreamlike atmosphere that transports viewers to fantastical worlds. One of the most fascinating aspects of nighttime is the way it affects our emotions and perceptions. As darkness falls, our senses become heightened, and we are more attuned to the world around us. The quiet of the night allows us to listen more intently, and we may find ourselves noticing sounds that we would normally tune out during the day. Similarly, the absence of light makes our eyes more sensitive, allowing us to see the stars and planets in all their glory. This heightened awareness of our surroundings can be a humbling experience, reminding us of our place in the vastness of the universe. Another way that nighttime affects our emotions is by creating a sense of nostalgia and longing. The soft glow of dusk can bring back childhood memories of simpler times, while the twinkling stars evoke a sense of wonder and imagination. This combination of nostalgia and fantasy can be both comforting and melancholic, reminding us of the passage of time and the bittersweet nature of life. Despite the beauty and wonder of nighttime, it is important to acknowledge the challenges that come with darkness. For many people, the night can be a time of fear and anxiety, whether it is the darkness itself that scares them, or the potential dangers that may lurk in the shadows. In cultures around the world, there are countless stories of monsters and creatures that come out at night preying on unsuspecting victims. This fear of the unknown can be a powerful motivator, driving us to seek out safety and security. As we continue our exploration of the mystical realm of nighttime, we invite you to share your own experiences and thoughts. What does nighttime mean to you? What memories and emotions does it bring up? What hopes and dreams do you hold for the future? Share your stories in the comments below and let your voice be heard. And now, it's time to dive even deeper into the magical world of nighttime. We've prepared a special treat for you. If you'd like to learn more about the fascinating history and cultural significance of nighttime, stay tuned for more videos. Just click the link below to access a wealth of information that will expand your understanding of this enchanting topic. Don't miss out on this opportunity to deepen your knowledge and appreciation for nighttime. Click the link now and embark on a journey of discovery. If you've enjoyed our exploration of nighttime and want to support our work, we invite you to show your support. By doing so, you'll help us continue creating enchanting videos that bring the magic of nighttime to life. Thank you for joining us on this mesmerizing journey through the mystical realm of nighttime. As the darkness envelops us, may you find solace in the twinkling stars and the soft glow of the moon. Embrace the tranquility of the night, allowing your thoughts to wander freely and your dreams to take flight. Remember, in the quiet solitude of nighttime, you have the opportunity to connect with yourself and the world around you in a profound and meaningful way. So as the sun sets and the stars emerge, we encourage you to find beauty in the darkness and wonder in the night. Let your imagination soar, your creativity spark, and your spirit shine brightly in the enchanting embrace of nighttime. The minstrel's dream song stretches outward. Each note falls into the air like a pebble into water. But instead of ripples on a pond, the sound creates shapes, gentle glowing shapes. First, the glow of meadows appears. Wide, endless fields where tall grass bends in a slow breeze. The blades shimmer with silver edges, as though touched by moonlight. Flowers open their faces, though it is night, colors muted but alive. The air smells of lavender and clover, soft, calming, like a memory of summer. The minstrel plays a low chord, and in answer a stream begins to flow. Its surface glimmers like glass. The sound is delicate, a trickle, a murmur. It winds its way through the meadow, catching starlight as it goes. The water hums in harmony with the lute's song. Together, string and stream, earth and air, become one melody. The silent watchers by the great hearth remain still. Their eyes are closed, their breath slow, but in their faces is the softness of peace. So if the minstrel's dream song is their dream too, the minstrel continues. His fingers find a brighter note. The firelight answers. He lifts into the sky, spreading in sparks, which drift not down, but upward, becoming stars. One by one, the sparks settle in the dark, joining the constellations. The heavens grow richer, fuller, endless. And as the stars spread, their light spills downward. It paints the meadow in silver and blue. Every blade of grass shines, every flower glows faintly. As the stream glimmers brighter, the dream world deepens, the music deepens, your calm deepens. The minstrel breathes slowly, matching the rhythm of his playing. Every inhale, a gathering of sound. Every exhale, a release of peace. And you too may follow this rhythm. Inhale slowly, exhale gently, your breath and his song moving as one. In the distance, hills rise softly, not sharp, not tall, but round and kind. They roll like waves frozen in earth. The minstrel's chords seem to give them weight, shape, presence. And upon those hills, trees appear. Tall oaks, silent guardians, their leaves whispering faintly in the dream wind. The minstrel pauses. He listens. Even within the dream, the silence holds power. And in that silence, the dream world breathes. The grass shifts, the stream murmurs, the stars hum, the oaks whisper. Everything alive, everything at rest. When he plucks again, the sound is soft, delicate, like dew falling, and from the ground tiny lights rise. Not sparks, but fireflies. Hundreds, thousands. They drift lazily through the air, blinking in patterns, floating like little lanterns set free into the night. The minstrel smiles. The dream smile feels weightless. The lute feels endless. The song feels eternal. And you, watching through his dream, feel yourself inside it too. The meadow beneath you, the stars above you, the stream beside you, the fireflies all around. It's the music inside your chest. You are part of this dream. You're part of this calm. The figures by the hearth do not stir, yet their silence speaks. It is the silence of agreement, of recognition, as though they too have walked these meadows, seen these stars, felt this peace. The minstrel plays on. The notes soften even further, slowing, like footsteps coming gently to a stop. The dream landscape steadies. The meadow holds. The hills rest. The stream flows endlessly, but quietly. The fireflies drift lazily, their light steady, their glow eternal. And as the minstrel lingers, the dream wraps around him, around the watchers, around you, like a cloak woven of stars, like a lullaby sung without words, like rest itself. Oh, the music does not end. It does not need to. It fades and swells and fades again, like the tide, like the breath, like sleep. The minstrel breathes once more, long and slow, and with that breath, the dream deepens again. Welcome back, my friends. Thank you so much for joining us today for another journey into the heart of the dream. Today's story is a special one. We will be journeying deep into the magic of dreams, where a simple note can build a tower and a melody can weave an entire world. Our minstrel is just beginning his song, and already the dream responds. At first it is only a whisper of light, a shift in the shadows beneath the old oak tree. But as the chords ring out, clear and pure, the meadow glows softly still. Yet beyond the hills, something stirs. Something new begins to take shape in the starlight. At first, it is only shadow, a faint outline against the dark velvet of night. But as the lute strings vibrate with life, the shadow grows, takes form and definition. The minstrel plays a rising scale, and with each ascending note, the shape lifts skyward. Stone walls rise, strong and sure. Towers reach up, graceful and gentle. There is no fierceness, no forbidding in its demeanor. It's only warmth and welcome, as though this structure was not built for battle or defense, but solely for seeking shelter and sharing stories around a hearth. Its turrets gleam with starlight, its windows glow with hearthlight. A sense of peace emanates from every stone, from every ray of light that dances upon its ramparts. It feels alive, yet peaceful, yet serene. It seems to pulse with a gentle energy, a silent heartbeat that echoes the rhythm of the earth and the flow of the stars. The minstrel plays on, lost in the music, in the magic he is weaving. Each note he lays down is received by the dream and transformed into solid reality. Soft chords build arches. Over the drawbridge, a gentle pounce raises a portcullis, allowing the minstrel passage into this realm of slumber and starlight. As he moves forward, the melody shifts, weaving banners that stream and drift in an unseen dream wind. Their colors are muted yet radiant, whispering tales of valor and tranquility. The sky above turns a deep indigo, sprinkled with pinpricks of silver light that twinkle in harmony with the lute's music. Within the castle walls, a village unfolds. Each cottage, each cobblestone street, each lantern glowing in every window, all come into being with the steady pulse of the lute. Within these sturdy walls, life stirs. In the village square, people move about, not rushing, not toiling, but resting. They sit on benches, sharing stories and laughter. They stroll along the paths, hands clasped behind their backs, eyes gazing at some distant point beyond the horizon. They move with a serenity that speaks of burdens cast aside, of worries left at the threshold of the dream. They breathe in harmony with the minstrel's song. Time seems to slow, the world shrinks. All that matters is this moment, this place, this shared experience of peace. And then the minstrel sees them. Children chase tiny dream fireflies through the twilight. Laughter rings out, echoing the music of the spheres. The fireflies dance, swirling and dipping, leaving trails of stardust in their wake. The minstrel smiles faintly, not with pride, but with wonder. He is not creating this world, he realizes. He is only uncovering it. The music was already there, hidden in silence. He has only brushed away the dust. He sees elders rocking slowly in wooden chairs, their eyes closed, their faces lined with the wisdom of countless lifetimes. He sees mothers rocking cradles, humming softly to their slumbering infants. Voices are low, eyes are soft, movements are slow and graceful. Fathers polish armor, not for battle, but for dancing. For here in the dream all is honed and tempered, not for conflict, but for grace. And everywhere, the lute's music infuses life, imbues movement and meaning. The minstrel continues playing. In the distance, he hears a dog bark, a rooster crow, the tinkling of a fountain. Sounds blend with the music, weaving a tapestry of sleepy contentment. The fireflies drift now over the castle towers, gathering like stars above the rooftops. Their glow makes the stone shimmer, the wood glisten, the water in the village, well, sparkle. Every detail is hushed, gentle, dreamlike. The minstrel plucks a deeper chord, and in the dream sky, a bell tolls softly. Not loud, not sharp, but round and mellow, as if time itself is marking rest. One toll, long and slow, rolling across the air. The villagers pause, listen, and smile. For the bell is not a summons, not a warning, but a lullaby of its own. The minstrel breathes deeply, the lute breathes with him, and the dream expands again. Beyond the castle, fields stretch outward, golden fields of grain, moving like waves, rippling in the starlight, whispering secrets to the wind. A gentle breeze passes across them, and the sound is soft, like a sigh. Beyond the fields, a forest rises, tall, ancient trees with leaves glowing faintly, as though kissed by moonlight. The forest does not loom, it cradles, it protects, it waits. The minstrel pauses again, letting the dream settle. He feels the presence of the silent figures by the hearth, still watching, still listening. Though they do not speak, he knows they to see the castle, the village, the forest. And within their stillness, he senses gratitude. The minstrel bows his head slightly. His fingers soften on the strings, and in response, the dream lightens. The castle walls glow brighter, not with fire, but with calm. The cottages seem to breathe. The villagers rest deeper, the fields sigh slower. The forest leans closer. Everything unified in stillness, in song, in peace. The minstrel lets another chord fall. This time, the dream responds with light rain. Silver droplets descend from the sky. They touch rooftops softly. They touch leaves gently. They touch your skin like cool silk. Not cold, not harsh. It's just light, refreshing, soothing. The rain does not disturb the villagers. It lulls them deeper. Its rhythm joins the lute's, rhythm plink, plink, plink. every drop a note, every note a breath. The entire world breathing. The minstrel watches, amazed. His own dream has become greater than himself, has become a place, a home, a sanctuary, and still he plays. The fireflies drift. The bell hums, the rain falls, the castle glows. The villagers sleep, the fields sigh, the forest watches, the dream holds. And the minstrel knows that this is only the beginning. There are more worlds to uncover, more songs to play, more dreams to share. With every chord, the universe expands, offering more wonders, more mysteries, more peace. The dream is vast, boundless, eternal. It stretches beyond the confines of the night, beyond the limits of the waking world. Here anything is possible. Here everything is perfect. Here in this timeless realm of slumber and starlight, the minstrel finds his true purpose, his endless inspiration. And he plays on, forever weaving the tapestry of dreams. Our journey in the dream world comes to an end, but the magic doesn't have to. Keep the dream alive by sharing it with others. Let the music of the lute echo in your heart, and let the starlight guide your dreams. Until we meet again in the dream, may you find peace in the quiet moments, joy in the smallest details, and wonder in the vastness of the night sky. Thank you for journeying with us today. If you enjoyed this tale, don't forget to show your support. Your likes fuel our creativity and allow us to bring more enchanting stories to life. If you haven't already, consider subscribing. Each new subscriber helps us reach more dreamers like you. And remember, the dream world is always open. All you need to do is believe. Oh, how strange it is to wake up from a dreamless night. When we awake, our minds often drift back over the dreams we've just left behind. We remember a feeling, a scene, a story, or sometimes we awaken with no memory of entering a dream at all. Yet a portion of our night, our hours, our lives were spent there. These dreamlands whisper to us, and in their whispers, we might learn more than we would in any waking conversation. I've been watching a series on television about a group of friends who gather every Saturday to play a tabletop role-playing game. These stories are filled with adventure, humor, mystery, and fantasy. One of the characters has been described as someone who gets lost in every world she enters, a trait I share with her. Sometimes my journeys through the worlds of fiction take me back to the ancient lands of Narnia or the magical shores of Neverland. Other times I travel to faraway galaxies or fantastical city streets where superheroes fight evildoers. Though these worlds may differ vastly, I always relish the opportunity to explore them. So when I was offered the chance to venture into another realm, I eagerly accepted. This is the realm of Mythidaea. In the land of Mythidaea, the river of stars courses through a landscape crafted from the stuff of imagination. Winding through valleys, over bridges, and past waterfalls, this river invites exploration and discovery. But let us be cautious, for danger can lurk beneath its sparkling surface. I find myself standing at the edge of the river of stars, looking out over the flowing currents. This place feels both familiar and magical. Like stepping into a half-remembered dream, I feel a pull towards the shimmering waters, an urge to step in and feel the cool current envelop me. The call of adventure is strong, yet a part of me hesitates. Are we ready to navigate the uncharted waters ahead? Will we find the strength and courage to face whatever challenges await us? Still, the allure of the river is too great to resist. Taking a deep breath, I brace myself and step into the river of stars. As I wade into the river, the water rises around me, transforming into a gentle current that pulls me forward. Sparkling starlight shimmers through the rippling surface, creating a dazzling display above me. As I move deeper into the stream, I feel a sense of weightlessness, as if the current is carrying me on its back. It is both exhilarating and terrifying. Suddenly, the current becomes stronger, pulling me swiftly and relentlessly downstream. Panic threatens to overwhelm me, but I fight to stay calm. What started as a gentle journey has turned into a wild ride, and I am powerless to stop it. Adrenaline pumps through my veins as I struggle against the current. Yet with every stroke, I feel myself moving further away from safety, further into the heart of the churning waters. The river twists and turns, leading me through a maze of sparkling channels. I am disoriented, unsure of where I am or where I'm going. The banks seem to blur together, and I lose track of time. Just when my strength begins to fail and despair threatens to consume me, the current slows. The river widens, and the pace of the current gradually decreases. The rushing water transforms into a tranquil flow, and the sparkling starlight returns, chasing away the darkness. I see a glimmer of light up ahead, and surge of hope courses through me. Could this be the end of my journey? With renewed determination, I swim towards the light, eager to reach solid ground once more. Finally, my feet touch bottom, and I stumble onto the bank, collapsing onto the soft grass. Gasping for breath, I look back at the river of stars. Now, a distant twinkle in the twilight sky. My body aches, and my spirit feels drained, but I am alive. Safe on solid ground, I let out a shaky breath, realizing that my journey is far from over. The river of stars may have deposited me here, but my path ahead remains uncertain. Still, as I rise to my feet, I feel a newfound strength coursing through me. I am bruised, battered, and weary, but my resolve is unwavering. I will explore this new world with cautious optimism, determined to face whatever challenges lie ahead. And so I begin my exploration of this strange and beautiful realm. I wander through a fantastical landscape, encountering whimsical creatures and puzzling mysteries. At every turn, the River of Stars has brought me to a crossroads, and I must choose my path wisely. Will I forge ahead bravely, seeking adventure and discovery? Or will I tread cautiously, wary of the dangers that lie hidden beneath the surface? As I stand at this crossroads, the fate of my journey hangs in the balance. Which path will I choose? Let us follow the River of Stars and find out. Now we come to the edge of a dark and tangled wood. The trees stand like gnarled fingers reaching towards the sky, and their shadows twist and turn on the forest floor. The air grows heavy with the scent of pine and decay, and the sound of my own footsteps echoes ominously around me. Fear whispers in my ear, urging me to turn back, to flee from this place of shadows and secrets. But curiosity, like a persistent ember, refuses to be extinguished. I feel compelled to venture into the heart of the woods, to uncover the mysteries that lie hidden within. What untold wonders or horrors await me in the tangled depths? As I step into the forest, I carry these questions with me, knowing that the answers may lie not in what I find, but in how I choose to face the darkness. Suddenly, the trees begin to thin, revealing a clearing bathed in an ethereal glow. In the center stands a magnificent oak, its branches forming a natural archway over a mossy stone altar. Before it lies a single white feather, shimmering with an otherworldly light. Drawn to its beauty and mystery, I approach the altar. As I reach out to touch the feather, a rush of energy surges through me, filling me with renewed purpose and strength. I feel a connection to something ancient and powerful, as if the forest itself is guiding and protecting me on my journey. With the feather in my possession, I turn towards the arching branches of the oak. It is as if the tree beckons me to pass beneath its protective canopy, offering solace and guidance. Stepping through the natural arch, I emerge into a sun-dappled glaw. Here the River of Stars flows calmly, reflecting the sunlight like a ribbon of liquid stars. Before me stretches a path made of smooth river stones, inviting me to continue my journey. Feeling a sense of tranquility and clarity, I step onto the path, ready to face whatever lies ahead. The feather tucked safely away, I follow the River of Stars deeper into the heart of this enchanting realm, eager to discover what wonders await me. And so, our journey continues through this mystical land, guided by the winding River of Stars. Along the way, we encounter fascinating characters, some helpful and some not so much. We face challenges that test our courage and unravel mysteries that deepen the lore of this enchanting realm. The river leads us on, ever onward, until we reach a final confrontation that will determine the fate of this world. Will we rise to the occasion? Can we restore balance to this world teetering on the edge of chaos? Or will our actions lead to unforeseen consequences? The fate of this realm hangs in the balance, and our decisions will shape its destiny. Join us as we navigate the treacherous waters of this fantastical world, confronting the darkness within ourselves and the trials that await us. For our journey towards the source of the River of Stars has just begun. I want to share a story with you today. I hope you'll enjoy it. And if you'd like to support my work, please consider supporting me by following or joining my membership program. In the northern reaches of the Whispering Wood, there stood an ancient house. Its roof was thick with moss, its walls entwined with ivy, its windows like vacant eyes staring into the green. It was a place untouched by time, a sanctuary lost to the world. Few knew of its existence. Fewer still had found the courage to seek it out. For the path to the house was veiled in mist and myth, leading only those who were pure of heart and true of soul. One day a young woman named Alara, whose spirit burned with a quiet strength and curiosity, heard a whisper of this hidden house on the hill. Intrigued and yearning for solace, she set out on a journey to find it. Her path led her deep into the whispering wood, where gnarled trees clawed at the sky and secrets whispered on the breeze. As she walked, the forest seemed to shift and change, testing her resolve with riddles and illusions. But Alara pressed on, her determination fueled by an inner fire. Finally, as twilight painted the sky in hues of purple and gold, she saw it, the ancient house, bathed in the soft glow of the setting sun. With a mix of reverence and joy, Alara approached, her footsteps echoing the secrets of the ancient wood. As she reached out to knock, the door creaked open, revealing a sight that stole her breath away. The great wooden doors creak open, not with force, not with weight, but with ease, as though they have been waiting for you to enter. A soft glow spills out, golden and steady. It stretches across the stones, inviting your steps. The minstrel lifts his head, nods gently, and lets the lute guide you inward. The great hall greets you. It is not loud, not grand in the way you might expect. No clamor of feasts, no echo of banners clashing. Instead, it is wide and warm and filled with silence. The air hums faintly, like a lullaby sung in the farthest corner of the mind. The fire at the great hearth crackles softly. Its light spreads upward, catching carved beams, catching tapestries, catching faces carved in wood. The minstrel plucks a chord, and the tapestries stir. They are not still. Their threads shimmer in the firelight, their colors deepen. Scenes appear woven from centuries. A field of harvest, where villagers gather grain. A ship on a calm sea, its sails full, its voyage certain. A forest glade, where deer drink from silver streams. Each tapestry whispers its own story, and yet together they weave one song. The minstrel's melody matches the rhythm of the woven threads. Every pluck feels like a shuttle passing through a loom. Every chord like a pattern revealed. The hall itself becomes a woven place, a cloth of peace. Long tables stretch through the hall, but they are not cluttered. No feast lies upon them. Instead, they are lined with candles. Each candle burns low, its flame steady, its wax dripping slowly. The candles glow like little stars set upon the wood. The light they give is soft, even kind. The minstrel walks slowly, his footsteps light. The lute does not falter. Its sound echoes gently from the stone walls. Not harsh, but smooth, as though the very stones were shaped to hold music. Around the tables, more dream figures rest. They do not eat, they do not speak. They sit with folded hands, with eyes half closed, breathing slow. They listen, but not with ears alone. They listen with stillness, they listen with trust. The minstrel pauses near the great hearth. The fire is steady here, warm and quiet. He leans slightly, his lute cradled close, and lets a new pattern flow. This melody is lower, rounder, fuller. It settles into the stones. It lingers in the beams. It circles the room like a bird gliding in calm air. And with it, a new vision grows. The hall changes, not in form, but in feeling. The air thickens with calm. It feels like honey, slow and golden. It feels like wool, soft and warm. It feels like water, quiet and clear. The minstrel's fingers move gently, never rushing. The lute hums, the fire glows, the candles breathe. The dream steadies. Above, high windows glow faintly. Not with daylight, but with the light of stars. Sky outside is dark velvet. Through the tall, arched glass, the constellations watch. They blink slowly, like guardians who never sleep. The minstrel lets one note linger. It rises into the rafters. It climbs into the night sky. And there it rests, becoming part of the stars themselves. The dream figures remain still, but their stillness is not empty. It is full, full of rest, full of trust, full of peace. The minstrel does not speak. He does not need to. The song carries every word that could ever matter. The fire answers with a crackle, the candles answer with a flicker, the stars answer with their glow. You too are part of this circle, not outside it, not separate, but within. You are seated at the table. You feel the warmth on your face. You hear the song in your chest. You belong in this dream. You belong in this calm. The minstrel closes his eyes. The hall listens. And in that shared listening, everything rests. The song flows on, endless, gentle, like water through stone, like wind through trees, like breath through night. Within these four walls, time ceased to exist. Laura felt the weight of centuries lift from her shoulders, replaced by a profound sense of peace that echoed within her very being. Here in this timeless haven, Alara found solace and a connection to something greater than herself. She understood that this place, the ancient house on the hill, was not just a refuge, but a mirror to the boundless beauty and tranquility that resided within her own soul. As the first rays of dawn touched the horizon, painting the sky in hues of rose and amber, Alara knew it was time to return. With a heart brimming with gratitude and a spirit rejuvenated, she stepped back into the whispering wood. The ancient house receded into the emerald embrace of the trees, taking its secrets and its peace with it. Yet the essence of that haven lingered around Alara like a protective aura, guiding and comforting her as she walked. Back in the familiar world, Alara carried the tranquility of the ancient house within her like a precious treasure. The memory of the minstrel's song and the wisdom it held became a source of strength and solace, reminding her of the boundless beauty that existed not just in hidden houses on the hill, but within her own heart as well. The experience transformed her, leaving an indelible mark on her soul and a quiet confidence in her step. And so the tale of the ancient house on the hill became a legend whispered on the winds of the whispering wood, a beacon for those seeking solace and a testament to the enduring power of music dreams and the timeless beauty of the natural world. Thank you for listening to my story today. If you enjoyed this tale and would like to hear more stories like this, please consider hitting the like button and sharing it with your friends. Your support means a lot to me and helps me continue creating these stories for you. Wishing you peace and joy on your journey. Till we meet again. A cold wind whispers outside, whipping fallen leaves into frenzied dances. Rain streaks the grimy window panes, blurring the dying embers in the hearth. Below, villagers huddle deeper into their cloaks, seeking solace against the biting November chill. Above, in the great hall, the fire sputters, casting grotesque shadows on the vaulted ceiling. In the midst of it all sits the minstrel, weathered face framed by a shock of white hair, his calloused fingers tracing chords on his ancient lute. The song lingers. It speaks of sun-drenched meadows and laughter echoing in the warm summer breeze, of hearth fires burning bright against the winter's bite, and of love found in the soft moonlight. A stark contrast to the desolate scene around him. And yet, strangely, it does not jar. Perhaps it is the raw honesty in the minstrel's voice, etched with the memories of 1,000 tales. Or maybe it's the timeless quality of the song itself, one that has echoed across the ages, unchanged and eternal. Or perhaps, just perhaps, there's something more. Some hidden current beneath the notes that draws the listeners in, promising solace, offering respite. You sit mesmerized, enveloped in the spell of the music. Then, slowly, ever so gently, the sound begins to rise. Not louder, not stronger, simply higher, as though it wishes to climb. The minstrel lifts his gaze. His eyes trace the tall stone arches, the beams that stretch upward, the faint glow of windows set high in the tower. His fingers shift, and the lute responds, its strings singing upward, step by step. Stairway appears, winding, spiraling, hugging the tower wall. Its stones are worn smooth by centuries of footsteps. But in the dream, they carry no weight. Only calm. The minstrel moves to the base of the stair. The watchers in the hall do not stir. They remain peaceful, resting in firelight. But you are invited to climb. The lute guides the first step, soft, measured, gentle. The sound of the string matches the sound of your breath. Another step, another chord. Each note lifting you a little higher. The air changes as you climb. It grows cooler, but not cold. It carries the faint scent of stone, of wood aged by time, of night air slipping through narrow windows. It is clean, it's clear. It feels like breathing the stars themselves. The minstrel's melody follows you, sometimes above, sometimes below, always near. A companion, a lantern made of sound. The higher you go, the quieter the world becomes. The crackle of the hearth fades. The murmurs of the hall dissolve. Only the lute remains, steady, kind, assured. At small landings, narrow windows open to the night. You glance outward. The village lies far below, its cottages glowing faintly with hearthlight. Beyond, fields stretch into shadow, forests ripple dark and deep, and above it all, the stars gleam. So close now, so patient, so endless. The minstrel plucks a high, bright string. The sound rises, slipping through the open windows. And as it does, the stars respond. They seem to flicker, not with distance, but with recognition, as though the melody belongs to them. Step by step, you climb. The spiral turns. The air cools further. The silence deepens. The lute hums. Your breath steadies. Your body softens. Your mind loosens. Finally, the stairs end. A narrow wooden door waits. Its frame is simple. Its handle smooth from years of touch. You press it gently. It opens without resistance. The chamber beyond is small, round, and still. It is the tower's crown. Single lantern rests inside, its flame faint but steady. The light spills across stone walls, across the floor, and then upward through the wide-open roof. For above this chamber, there is no ceiling. Only sky, only stars. The minstrel steps forward. He raises the lute. And when he plays, the notes rise freely into the night. They do not echo from walls. They do not return. They travel upward, into the vast, into the endless, into the waiting arms of stars. The stars shimmer brighter. One by one, constellations awaken. Lines of light stretch between them, gentle, glowing, like threads on a loom. The sky becomes a tapestry, a pattern of light woven from eternity. The minstrel smiles faintly. The song is soft but sure. It belongs here, among the stars, among the threads of the sky. And you, standing in the tower's crown, feel the starlight touch your skin. It is not sharp. It is not cold. It is warm, gentle, like a familiar hand. It sinks into you. It rests in your breath. It settles in your chest. The minstrel closes his eyes. The lute hums. The stars glow. The dream deepens. Here in this chamber of sky, you are weightless. You are timeless. You are safe. You are home. The song does not end. It stretches on, woven with starlight, woven with silence, woven with calm. And as it stretches, you drift, slowly, peacefully, like a feather floating down, like a star sliding across the heavens. It's like sleep itself. You awaken with a start, the remnants of the dream clinging to you like morning mist. The minstrel is gone. The hall is empty. The fire reduced to glowing embers. Outside, the wind has died down, leaving an eerie stillness in its wake. You rise, stretching, and for a moment, the memory of the dream lingers, vivid and real. Then, as if nudged by an unseen hand, you step outside. The sky above is a vast expanse of star-studded velvet, the same stars you saw in your dream, undisturbed, eternal. Below, the village stirs to life, the people unaware of the magic they missed. The trees rustle softly, their leaves whispering secrets to the wind. The world is alive with the music of the spheres, a symphony of existence that echoes the minstrel's song. You take a deep breath, feeling the crisp air fill your lungs, and a smile touches your lips. You remember the warmth of the starlight, the peace of the endless stare, the solace of the song. And you know that when the night is dark and the path is unclear, all you need to do is look up to the stars and listen closely for the minstrel's tune. It will guide you home. Or perhaps it was just a dream, a figment of your imagination, a brief escape from the harsh realities of life. But even if it was a dream, what harm is there in holding on to its magic, in cherishing the memory of the minstrel's song? After all, isn't that what dreams are for? To offer a glimpse of something more? Something beyond the mundane? Something beautiful? Something true? And who knows, maybe the line between dreams and reality is not as clear as you think. Maybe the stars really do speak to those who listen. And maybe the minstrel's song is always there, waiting to guide you home whenever you need it. So next time the world seems too heavy, the burdens too great, the path too steep, remember the minstrel and his song. Remember the endless stare and the starlight's embrace. Remember the peace that comes from simply being, from simply existing in the grand tapestry of existence. For there, in the quiet moments, in the depths of your soul, the minstrel's melody lingers, waiting to be discovered, waiting to heal, waiting to guide you home. If you enjoyed this whimsical tale, please consider subscribing for more enchanting stories, and don't forget to leave a like. Thank you for joining me on this magical journey. Until next time, may your dreams be filled with starlight and your path be illuminated by the music of the spheres. In the realm of dreams where imagination takes flight and the boundaries of reality blur, there exists a place known as the Minstrel's Rest. It is here that the story we are about to tell unfolds. The constellations rest. Their glows soft, their watch eternal. The sky above you hums with silence that feels alive. The wind whispers secrets to the leaves, a secret language understood only by the trees. Below, the river murmurs tales of ages past, each ripple a story, each bend a memory that time cannot erase. The very stones seem to sigh, sharing in the tranquility of the moment. And as the night deepens, a profound stillness settles over the land, a hush so profound it speaks volumes. But now, something stirs in the air, not heavy, not sudden, but gentle, like a breath. A breeze moves through the tower, caressing the ancient stones, rustling the leaves outside and stirring the air with an unseen touch. It curls along the stone walls, worn smooth by countless years of wind and rain, slipping over the minstrel's calloused hands as he strums a chord, holding the melody in balance, and it brushes lightly across your face. Cool, soft, sweet. The minstrel lifts his head, his weathered face etched with the stories of 1,000 songs. His fingers shift, and the lute answers, its sound lifting lighter, higher, as though caught in the current of air. The breeze carries something with it, not words, not songs, but fragments, familiar shapes of sound, ancient lullabies, half-remembered, half-forgotten, whispered once in villages long ago. The notes drift past your ear, a soft hum, like a mother's voice, a quiet tune, like a cradle rocking, the rhythm of gentle hands patting a child's back, the faint echo of laughter, bubbling and bright, chasing away the shadows of fear, the rustle of straw beds in humble cottages, whispering tales without sound, the sigh of tired voices soothing little ones to sleep. The breeze weaves these fragments into a tapestry of sound, a symphony of simplicity. And as you listen, you find yourself drawn into its embrace, enveloped by the melody of memories. The minstrel, attuned to the whims of the wind, listens intently, his eyes closed. He does not force these melodies. He lets them come, lets them pass. And when they drift near, he catches them softly on the strings of his lute. As if guided by an unseen hand, his fingers dance across the fretboard, coaxing forth each lullaby one by one. First, a soft lilting tune floats to his fingertips, a simple melody that speaks of moonlight and magpies. He plucks the strings, and the lullaby takes shape. It tells a tale of how the moon, round and patient, watches over the sleeping world from her home in the sky, her gentle light a silent lullaby. Next, a playful jig rises on the breeze, a lively dance of fiddle and flute. He strums, and the lullaby transforms. It paints a picture of the stars, tiny lanterns let loose into the vast darkness, each twinkling light a watchful eye keeping guard throughout the night. Then a haunting ballad drifts closer, a lament on the edge of hearing. He plucks softly, and the lullaby emerges, a whisper of remembrance. It speaks of hearth fires, steady and warm, banishing the encroaching dark and chasing away the chill of fear. One by one, the lullabies take flight, soaring and dipping, weaving together into a vibrant tapestry of sound. The air fills with their combined melody, not loud, not sharp, but woven together, like threads of a forgotten cloth, rich with meaning and memory. The breeze curls again, carrying scents with it. The faint sweetness of freshly cut hay, the smoky warmth of seasoned wood, the herbal touch of dried lavender, all mingling in a nostalgic embrace. These are the scents of hearth and home, of childhood dreams and fireside tales. They intertwine with the lullabies, forming a heady brew of nostalgia and comfort. The air grows thick with emotion, stirring feelings long dormant, pulling you deeper into the minstrel's spell. You find yourself leaning forward, entranced, as the lute sings its timeless songs. The wind picks up, dancing around you in a swirling waltz, carrying with it the whispers of generations past. The lullabies soar, but they do not fade. They linger in the breeze, soft as silk, light as feathers, echoing in your soul. And as they linger, you feel them rest upon you, caressing your spirit, soothing your worries. And then it hits you. A realization that transcends understanding, that washes over you like a tidal wave. You understand now why the minstrel plays these ancient tunes, why the breeze lingers here, why the very stones seem to sigh in harmony. This is no ordinary music. These are no ordinary songs. This is the minstrel's rest, a sanctuary woven from the threads of time, where the echoes of the past find solace in the present. The lullabies swirl, a timeless ballet of sound and emotion, and you find yourself swept up in their embrace. The minstrel's song becomes the loom of memories. The breeze becomes the shuttle, shuttling the threads of nostalgia, and the lullabies, the threads themselves, all woven together into a magnificent tapestry of sound. The tapestry of the minstrel's rest. As the night reaches its zenith, as the music swells, each note resonating deep within your being. It is a lullaby to the ages, a requiem for the ages. Lost, a celebration of life. The chords crash and fall, crashing like waves on a distant shore, falling like tears from a weeping sky. You feel the rhythm in your bones, the pulse of the earth, the heartbeat of the cosmos. And in this moment, you understand that you are not just listening to music, you are experiencing the very essence of existence, the raw, unfiltered emotions that bind us all. The breeze intensifies, whipping around you, carrying with it the ghosts of laughter, the echo of ancient voices, the lingering scent of bonfires past. It is a whirlwind of sensation, a maelstrom of memory. And yet amidst the chaos, there is a strange sense of calm, a feeling of overwhelming peace. The wind whispers secrets to the trees, secrets that have been passed down through the ages. Stories of love and loss, of joy and sorrow, of hope and despair. The river murmurs its own tale, a saga of resilience and renewal, of constant motion and eternal return. The stones, too, have their stories to tell, tales of empires risen and fallen, of seasons turning, of the relentless march of time. The minstrel plays on, his fingers flying across the fretboard, his body swaying to the rhythm of the wind, his voice blending with the chorus of the night. He is the conduit, the vessel through which the music flows, the living embodiment of the minstrel's rest. And then, just as suddenly as it began, the music fades. The breeze subsides, the river stills, and the stones fall silent. The night is hushed, expectant. The minstrel lowers his head, his shoulders slumping, and the lute falls silent. In the stillness that follows, you hear the echoes of the lullabies, faint and distant, like stars fading from the twilight sky. The air is heavy with unspoken emotions, the lingering scent of lavender and wood smoke, the taste of bittersweet nostalgia. The minstrel's rest has come to an end, but its echoes will linger in your heart, a reminder that even in the darkest of nights, the faintest glimmer of hope can guide you home. And as the first rays of dawn begin to paint the sky, you carry with you the memory of the lullabies, a treasure to be cherished and shared, a testament to the enduring power of music and the magic of the minstrel's rest. The minstrel lowers his hands. The lute rests in his lap, its strings still humming faintly, like the last ripples across a quiet pond. Around him, the dream has settled. The constellations rest, guardians asleep in the sky. The ancient lullabies drift softly, woven into the night breeze. The great hall glows with its hearth fire. The villagers breathe in peace. The meadow, the stream, the tower, all are still, all are whole. The minstrel opens his eyes. They shine with firelight, with starlight, with the quiet glow of endless calm. He takes a slow breath in, lets it out gently, and the dream breathes with him. You are here, within it all. Not as a watcher, not as a stranger, but as part of the song. Your breath is woven into the tapestry. Your stillness is stitched into the night. Your rest belongs here. The minstrel plucks one final note. Soft, low, round, like the closing of a door. The note lingers in the air, drifting upward into the sky. It joins the stars, becoming part of their eternal glow. The villagers sigh softly, their shoulders loosening, their eyes closing. The fire crackles once more, a last whisper of warmth. The breeze curls gently, laying the lullabies to rest. The minstrel sets the lute beside him. He folds his hands. He leans back, eyes closing, his breathing slows. He, too, is at rest. The dream folds in on itself. The meadow dims. The forest hushes. The castle towers fade to shadow. The hall becomes still. The stars soften, their light gentle, their glow eternal. And through it all, peace remains. A steady hum, a silent blessing, a calm that does not fade. You feel it now wrapped around you, like a blanket woven of stars, like the warmth of a fire that never dies, like a song without end. It cradles you, it holds you, it whispers. Rest now, sleep now, you are safe. The night deepens, your breath slows, your body softens, your thoughts drift away. There is nothing to do, nothing to hold, nothing to carry. Only this quiet, only this peace, only this dream. The minstrel's song is finished, but its echo remains. It's not in the air, not in the room, but in you. It will stay with you through this night, through your rest, through your sleep. The last glow fades. The dream dissolves into silence, and in that silence, you drift gently, slowly, beautifully into sleep. If you enjoyed this experience, then I invite you to join me on my channel. There, you'll find many more guided meditations crafted to help you relax, recharge, and restore your mind, body, and spirit. Each journey is designed to be a sanctuary for your soul, offering moments of tranquility and balance in your day. Whether you need to ease anxiety, improve sleep, boost creativity, or simply want to dive deeper into mindfulness practices, I have a guided meditation for you. So take a moment, breathe deeply, and let's begin our shared journey towards inner peace and serenity. Remember, you can access these guided meditations anytime, anywhere, making self-care and rejuvenation a seamless part of your daily routine. Let's explore these guided meditations together. Dive into a world where relaxation meets mindfulness and discover the transformative power of sound and guided imagery in your life. And if you found value in these guided meditations, please don't hesitate to show your support. Your support means the world to me and helps me continue creating more content for you. So take a moment, show your support, and let's embark on this incredible journey together.